Perfect. I've started the recording as well. So before this, I just instructed you guys to go to excel.new and one second. Mhm. And create an account and sign in into excel.new because that is where we'll be working with. Perfect, Garima. If you're able to log in, that's great. Others, please quick confirmation, right? We'll be working on dynamic arrays. So first, let us understand what dynamic arrays are and what has happened, what is new with Excel, right? So dynamic arrays, before we jump to dynamic arrays, what has changed in Excel? So the background is that for the last 30 years, Excel has gone many changes, right? But there was one thing that remained constant, which was one formula, one cell. One formula, one single cell as a result, right? The output would come in only one cell. In 2021, Microsoft made updates to their calculation engine. They introduced dynamic arrays, wherein there was a significant shift in Excel's calculation engine. Why was this significant? Because now one formula did not result in just one cell. One formula could generate multiple results. One formula could generate results in multiple cells. It was obviously groundbreaking because the concept of arrays has always been restricted to programming. Excel was only a formula language, but after dynamic arrays came in, Excel is no longer just a formula language. Excel is also a programming language, right? And there are a lot of other functions. The most important one was that once dynamic arrays came, now people could create their own custom functions and give them specific names, right? You could do that earlier as well, I think, with VBA. Yeah, with VBA. But with lambdas in dynamic arrays, it has become so much more easier. We'll look at that as well in the second half. So post 2021, these are the things that happened. So there is something called as co-authoring. Multiple people can work on the same workbook. जैसे आप Google Sheets पे work करते हो, this is also available. This is available only on the obviously the subscribed version, the paid version. There's better collaboration with comments. Like in a Google Sheet, you can see who's currently working on the workbook. Similarly, you can do that here as well. There is a visual refresh. XLOOKUP was introduced, right? The let function was introduced, again, which lets you define your own custom functions. There was dynamic arrays. There was XMatch, which is like match on steroids. That's the advanced version of match. Then you've got sheet views, which is navigation. You've got accessibility, performance improvements, and unhide many sheets at the same time. These are some, this was not there for a very long time. In Excel, if you have 50 sheets and you've hidden 30 of them, you would have to unhide them individually. Now you can do unhide multiple sheets at the same time. What are dynamic arrays formulas and what is a spilled array behavior, right? So dynamic arrays formula essentially mean that when you enter a formula, they spill the result into multiple cells. They spill the result into multiple cells. Which all versions can you view them on? Till 2016, but you can't write dynamic array formula, right? Before dynamic arrays, also you could replicate this behavior of an array, but that was only using a traditional array, which was the Control Shift Enter method. That's the shortcut, Control Shift Enter. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but we'll look at that as well, right? Anywhere you feel I'm going too fast or you don't understand anything, please feel free to stop me. Now, if any one of you knows a little bit of programming, an array in programming, an array is a data structure that can hold a collection of values of the same data type. Right? So if you look at the examples of an array, so this is what an array in Python would look like. This is what an array in Java would look like. This is what an array in C++, JavaScript, C#, and Ruby would look like. Okay. In an array, it is like a collection of list or related items. The items can be numbers, words, or other types of data, right? Each item in the array has a unique position called an index. Indices act as labels to locate and work with specific items. Can anyone tell me where does indexing start with in Python? Does it start at 0 or 1? Is the first value a 0 or a 1? Can anyone tell me? You can unmute yourselves and answer. We've met in class, right? So you guys can unmute yourselves and answer. You can. Where does an indexing start
Don't know
with?
Python.
Sorry?
Don't know Python.
None of you?
I
Very basic. So in Excel, okay, so tell me, in Excel, when I'm doing a VLOOKUP, right? My first column is it's always going to be at what position? 1, right? There is no 0 position, correct? And there is no -1 position as well in a VLOOKUP. Similarly, so in Excel, the indexing starts with 1. You define your first column position by writing 1. In Python, you start with 0. In most programming languages, your first position is 0 And you can do a -1 or -2 or a -3 as well to come start from the end. Okay. Now, understanding traditional arrays. Dynamic arrays are resizable arrays that calculate automatically and return values into multiple cells based on one formula entered in a single cell. Traditional array formulas do the same thing, but they're a little different in the terms that they are shown, right, when you type them. So, for example, if I had to square these numbers, this is the formula that I would write. I would write A4 is to A8 is to 2. But in a traditional array, when I press Control Shift Enter, do you see at the top, you get curly brackets. In the formula bar in the cell, you don't get the curly brackets, but at the top, you get curly brackets, right? Why does that happen? Because when you look in the cell that contains a traditional array, it appears as a normal formula. In the formula bar, when you click on that cell and look at the formula bar, you will see that the formula includes in curly brackets. That indicates that it's an array formula. So it's in the formula bar, you see the formula in curly brackets, right? To give you an example of this, you don't need to open your Excels. I'll let you know when to do that. By the way, I've shared these two files. You can download them and keep them. I've shared the PDF, the one that I'm showing you right now, and the Excel file as well. We'll be uploading Excel file to Excel online, right? So, perfect. Let me come to the first sheet. Okay. Let me zoom in. All right. So, in your laptops, if you were to open Excel, right, and you were to select a range of cells like this, you would not get this behavior, right? You would not get multiple results. What you would get is this. You will get the value from the first cell of your selection, value from the first cell of your selection. Now, if I wanted to write a traditional array formula, which means that if I want to square these numbers, there are two methods. One second. I can write the number raised to the power of 2. I can square it. इस तरीके से, then I can copy the formula down. But what if I want to write only one formula and copy it down? I can select the range. When I select the range of cells, always remember all the cell that is not grayed out, obviously the first cell from where you start your selection is your active cell. So when I start writing a formula, the formula is being written in the active cell. Now when I select a range of cells and I raise it to the power of 2 and I press Control Shift Enter, I pressed Control Shift Enter. If I just press Enter, it will not work. If I just press Enter, this will not work. This will work on your systems as well. This behavior will work on your systems as well, right? Because you guys have if I just press Enter, in the older version, it does not work. Akshit, we've just started. We've not done anything as of now. We've just gone to excel.new, go to Google, type excel.new and log in, and that's it. Further instructions I'll give after I've explained this topic, right? So Control Shift Enter is what works. Okay. And the add character, although you will have to never use it, but since I have to show you how Excel behaved earlier, which is how it behaves in your version, since I'm on the latest version, one formula does not give me one result. So if I have to replicate that behavior, I have to use Control Shift Enter method to only get one result. So even if I select a range of cells, I'll only get one cell as a result. This is what traditional array or without an array Excel would work like. Okay. So if you wanted an array of results, you would have to press Control Shift Enter. You would have to press Control Shift Enter. How would you do it? You would simply select your range of cells, write an equal to, select your range of cells, and press Control Shift Enter. Control Shift Enter. When I press Control Shift Enter, you can see that I get curly brackets at the top. Now in an array, you have to remember, if you ever use an array, you cannot delete any part of an array. When you try to delete it, it says that you can't change part of an array, right? Can you edit the formula? Only in the first cell. None of the other cells will allow you to edit the formula in a dynamic array. But here you cannot change the value also. So you basically can't do anything in an array, right? If you try to change the formula for this, it will still not work. The formula can only be changed from the first cell, right? If I were to, in fact, it doesn't allow you to change the formula also. So traditional array would not allow you to change anything once it is written. Okay. It won't allow you to change anything once it is written. So once you press Control Shift Enter, it's sort of pasted. The only thing that you can do is delete the entire thing together, right? It does not allow you to delete one single part of the array. It does not allow you to delete one value from the array. Okay. Clear how traditional array works? Everyone clear how traditional array works?
Yes.
Okay. So please open the Excel file that I've shared in the chat. Please open the Excel file that I've shared in the chat.
On our desktop or on
No,
Microsoft
on
365?
Microsoft Excel Online. So when you come to this view, are you seeing an Excel file opened on your Chrome browser,
Yes.
right?
Can you send the link again?
Then come to File and go to Open and choose your file from here. Come to File, go to Open and choose the file from here. Go to Open and choose the file from here. And you'll be able to upload the file. Once you upload the file, you might see a pop-up here. Besides the star button where you want to bookmark your page, there'll be a pop-up window, right? Please click on that and allow OneDrive to open a new tab, and then the new tab will be opened. Okay? So when you upload the file, उसके बाद एक pop-up आएगा यहाँ पे. You'll have to click on that, allow OneDrive to open a new tab. Only then the new tab, your file will open basically.
So could you share the link again in the chat box?
Link for this opening Excel online.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's just excel.new. Excel.new, I put it. Okay, please open this, everyone. On the online version, traditional arrays don't work, right? Anyways, we're doing just dynamic arrays. So we have a few examples that we'll cover. Once everyone is uploaded, please give me a confirmation. Once everyone is uploaded, please give me a confirmation.
Done, sir.
Done. Everyone else? How many? We have 11 people. So I expect at least 5 yeses. Once 50% of you confirm, I'll move ahead. In case anyone is facing any challenge, not able to do it, please let me know.
So from where do I have to download the dynamic arrays file?
It's in the chat. 1 second. Did you join? Acha, you must have joined late.
Yeah, I joined. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I'll send it again. 1 second. Let me stop sharing for a second. Yeah. One second, I'm dropping the file in the chat. It's getting sent. Just a second. Others, have you opened the Excel file on Excel Online?
So can you show once more how to upload?
How to upload? Just go to File. If the new tab is opened, if you see a blank tab like this, just go to File, go to Open, and click on Open File from this device. Okay. Once you click on that, यहाँ पे ना you will see a pop-up in your address bar. You will see a pop-up here. You will have to click on that, and you have to choose Allow for it to open a new tab. We'll have to choose Allow for it to open on a new tab. The Excel file is getting sent. Just 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sent. You can download the Excel file from the chat. It's sent. Okay, done everyone? Now everyone on my screen, please. Everyone on my screen, please. Okay. So Saksham has asked us a question. Okay, how is traditional array different from flash fill? Can't we do this by flash fill? Everyone, does flash fill write a formula? Does flash fill write a formula?
No.
No. So if it is not writing a formula, although it can generate multiple results, but that is not using a formula. Any formula in Excel earlier could only generate multiple results if it was a traditional array formula. A normal formula would not generate multiple results. Okay. I am showing you traditional array on my Excel desktop because on the online version, traditional array will not work. Whatever exercise you have to do, I will let you know and then you can do it. Okay. For now, come on back on my screen. Everyone come back on my screen. Okay. So we looked at traditional array. Dismay, we saw that. How it works is you first select a range of cells, then you start writing your formula, and then you press Control Enter to apply. At the top, you will see curly brackets. Okay, at the top in the formula bar, you see curly brackets. If you want to replicate Excel's old behavior, which is the @ behavior, what you would need to do is, even if you select a range of cells, if I do the same thing, I select a range of cells, I start writing the formula with an equal to, right? And I press Control Shift Enter, it would not work. I do not press Control Shift Enter. Okay. Even if I press Control Shift, when I press Control Shift Enter, in the earlier version, it works, right? In the earlier version, it works. Similarly, here in dynamic arrays, now in the online version, when you do this, when you select a range of cells and write the formula, you just write it in one cell. You don't have to select the range of cells first and then write it. Now, if you were to replicate the same behavior here, when you select a range of cells, right, this would not spill multiple results. This would not spill multiple results. Now, everyone, come back to the online version and please try this. Come back to the online version. The first sheet, traditional array. The first sheet is a traditional array sheet. Please write the traditional array formula here. Dynamic array. Traditional array would not work. The sheet name is traditional array. Okay. Please do two things. Write the formula, square these values, but write the formula only in the first cell, and you will see how the result is appearing in multiple cells. And here, write the same formula, but with an @ at the beginning. With an @ at the beginning. So how would you do it? You would select the range of cells, raise it to the power of 2, and you would get multiple results. If you do the same thing, but with an @ at the beginning, it will replicate Excel's old behavior, which was one formula, one result. One formula, one result. Please do this, everyone.
I'm not able to open this in online version.
Sorry,
I'm not able to open this file in online version.
can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you click on blank workbook?
It is showing your storage is full.
How is your storage full? Do you do everything on the online version?
What, sir?
Do you do all your exercises on the online version?
No, sir. I do in local version.
Can you click on blank workbook एक बार? Blank workbook, first option. Click on free up space. Can you empty the recycle bin? Empty recycle bin. There's nothing in the
There
recycle
is
bin.
no.
Just go back to the previous tab. Come back to the previous tab. Excel. Yeah. Can you delete a few files from here? Can you delete this? In fact,
These
go to
ones,
your
sir.
folder. Go to your OneDrive folder on your laptop. Not here, not online. On your local folder, your OneDrive folder on your laptop, because all of these files are on your OneDrive. और वहां पे जो business
There I need to delete some.
sorry,
There I need to delete some files.
yeah, you'll have to delete some files.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so go to the folder called Business Intelligence Course Java folder, which is in your OneDrive. Go there, check the size. This is 4.46 MB. So you need to delete a few files. I don't know how it has got full. Maybe if there's some video recording or something, you move that to a different location. Then you will free up some space.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है? हाँ, you can stop sharing. Please try. Others, have you tried this?
When I use that @ formula in the dynamic
Hmm.
arrays and then applied flash fill, then it worked.
Then you apply.
Then I applied flash fill, so then it worked for all the remaining cells also.
Saksham, the point of writing a formula, flash fill is not writing a formula. Using @ is only to show that it will replicate Excel's old behavior. So for
Okay.
example, if you're on Excel 2013 or Excel 2016, you don't have dynamic arrays, right? What you have is traditional array and the normal behavior, how Excel functions. I use the @ to show how Excel would work in the older versions. The flash fill is not important here. The flash fill is not writing a permanent formula, right? If your values change tomorrow, your output is not going to change. Flash fill is only temporary. And in this case, the flash fill does not make sense because flash fill will not copy a formula down. It can copy values down. It cannot copy a formula down. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Right? So a flash fill in this case would not make much sense. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I write the square root in a different column, and I try to use flash fill, it might not work. It might not be able to detect a pattern, right? That's
But
why
it worked.
sorry,
It worked.
cool. If it works, it works. Again, if flash fill is able to detect a pattern, great. But then it is not writing a formula. The whole point of dynamic arrays is that you can write a formula and one cell can generate multiple results. It works in this case because the sample is fairly simple. If you're doing much more complex calculations, right? In that case, a flash fill is not very useful. Flash fill, remember, is only for majorly for data extraction, not for doing calculations and all. It is not advisable. Okay. It is majorly for data extraction, data merging, basically to fasten your data cleaning process. Okay. Coming back, right? So that's what a traditional array and a dynamic array, that's how they're different, right? There is something known as auto spill, which happens when you write a dynamic array formula, which means that the formula spills results into different adjacent cells, automatically adjusting dynamically to data changes. Okay. Similarly, coming to the next sheet. Let me hide the floating meeting controls. Okay. So when you write a dynamic array formula, you will see that there's a blue border that appears around the spilled values. This is known as spill range border. So if I come back to Excel Online, right? When I've written this formula and I zoom in, do you see a blue border that appears? That is known as spill range. That is the spill range because that is where one formula has spilled the values. That is where one formula has spilled the values, right? It usually indicates the range of cells that are being affected by the dynamic array formula. Why is it there? Why has Microsoft put that behavior there? So like in a traditional array, you see curly brackets in the formula bar with a with a spill range border, which is in the blue color. It is a visual indicator. It serves as a visual cue to show where the formula output is being generated or displayed. It helps you quickly identify which cells are part of a spill range. Dynamic adjustment, as the name suggests, the border is dynamic. So if the data or the formula changes, causing the output to grow or shrink, the blue border adjusts accordingly to encompass the new spell range. Similarly, if you click on any cell within the spell range, the blue border appears, highlighting the entire range. This helps you understand that these cells are interconnected and are a result of a single dynamic array formula. Although there is an editing constraint, which means in a dynamic array formula, you can edit the formula only from the first cell, not from any other cell, right? Why? Because the formula is generated by a single cell. So if I come back to Excel Online, if I want to cube this, I can. All the values will change. If I want to square this and cube some other value, let's say this one. If I want to cube this value, I literally don't see the formula there because none of the other rows are storing the formula. The formula is only stored in the first cell. Formula is only stored in the first cell. None of the other cells are storing the formula. So any change that I have to make in the first cell. Right? Done, everyone? Then we can move on to the next example. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. F and shift F5. Take care. Now, when working with dynamic array formulas, you might notice that the formula bar displays different colors for the cell references, gray and black. Since like I said, since the formula is entered only in the first cell, it is editable. These colors provide visual cues about the relationship between the formulas and the cell references. So if you keep your selection on the first cell, the formula will show a black background, black color text in the formula bar. If you keep a selection on any of the other cells in the dynamic array range, it'll show a gray background. If you select the gray part, basically any cell which is not the first cell, it does not contain the formula. The formula bar will still display the formula, but the cell references will have a gray background. This signifies that the cells are part of a spilled range or dynamic array, but they are not the cells where the formula was originally entered, right? Then let us come back to traditional. Come to the Excel Online, come to the next sheet, profit margin relative. Profit margin relative. Come to the next sheet, profit margin relative, and have a look at my screen first, and then we can do the example. So to find profit margin for the subcategories, you would divide the profit by the sales or the revenue, right? And a single cell, right? One cell would essentially entail one result. One cell would essentially entail one result. This is how you would do it essentially. So one cell would entail one result. One cell, one result. This is how, and you would then copy the formula down, right? This is how you would have done it in your older versions, right? And when you do it in a dynamic array, what you essentially need to do is you just select the entire range of cells. So I said C4 to C20. I put in my operator and I select the sales range. And now when I press enter, the results are spilled into multiple cells. The results are spilled into multiple cells. Please try these two, everyone. Please try profit margin relative, where you enter one single formula in one cell and is not able to give you multiple results, right? And in the second one, you select a range of cells and it'll generate a range of cells as an output. You select a range of cells and it will generate a range of cells as an output. Please try this, everyone. Let me know once you're done. In case you face any challenge, do let me know as well.
Done, so
Done? Perfect. Others? Akshat, were you able to open Excel Online, the file in Excel Online?
No, sir.
Did you not delete anything from your OneDrive folder?
I am trying to delete that one.
Are you not able to delete as well?
No, sir.
That's strange. If you can share your screen, then we can have a look at that. Do you want to share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others, please do the example. So I hope you're getting a sense of how dynamic array is very different, right? So now imagine you've not worked on very complex stuff, right? ठीक है. Close करो इसको. ठीक है. नहीं, your OneDrive is not this. Your OneDrive is with a different name. Can you expand this PC?
What, sir?
On the left, can you press Windows E? Windows plus E. Can you press Windows plus E?
Sir, I have pressed.
ठीक है. On the left hand side ना नीचे this PC जो है, left में this PC है ना, उसको expand करो left से. नहीं, अरे, where is your OneDrive? Can you go to this business intelligence folder that you see? This is on desktop. Is your desktop on OneDrive? हाँ, एक second. Can you close this? Your OneDrive is with a different name. Do you see the other name Yojana? So whoever laptop is using वो OneDrive उसमें है और आपको एक बार login करके delete करना पड़ेगा. I don't think otherwise it will work. Or what you can do is you can
Sir,
create your own OneDrive.
What, sir?
You'll have to create one more OneDrive with your login ID. ठीक है? या फिर whose login ID are you using for the Microsoft Online?
Your voice again.
Whose email ID are you using for logging into excel.new?
Sir, it is my mother's email ID.
Can you create your account on
Yes, sir, I have
excel.new?
my own account, but on another PC.
No, you can just log in through that here. So if you go back to Excel Online,
Excel on one second.
go to Google Chrome. Go back to Google Chrome and just go to the right, just log in with your ID. See if that works. Okay, you can try this. You can stop sharing your screen and you can try this. Because if you're not able to access on that ID, then you try on this one. Perfect. Right. So you understand now how a traditional array formula is different from a dynamic array formula. Okay. F shift F5. Let's go full screen. Okay. Now the difference essentially is each cell inputs in a traditional array, each cell inputs a single value. In a dynamic array, a single
Sir,
cell.
your voice is breaking.
Sorry. Is it better now?
So your voice is breaking.
Okay, just
Yeah, now better.
it's better now. Can you hear me properly now? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's
So one formula outputs a single value, but in dynamic array, a single cell can output multiple values. When it comes to handling arrays, so a traditional formula would require copying formulas or complex array formulas. In a dynamic array, the formulas can naturally spill over into the adjacent cells. You don't have to worry about dragging and copying the formula, which can in turn slow down the performance of the file if your formula is very complex, right? In terms of data adjustment, the traditional formula would require manual adjustment needed for changing data sizes. So if you were to add a few more rows tomorrow, you would have to still drag the formula down, right? in the dynamic array, the formulas automatically adjust to changing data. In terms of complex tasks, often requires multiple steps or workarounds in a traditional formula. In dynamic array formula, the whole point is that it simplifies your complex task with a single and dynamic formula. Okay. With a single and dynamic formula. Please also remember that when you work backward compatibility, so if you're working with dynamic arrays on a previous version, so let's say you have the latest version, you've written a dynamic array formula and you've shared the file with someone who does not have the latest version of Excel, right? Any version prior to Excel 2016. When I say old version, it is any, and you will be surprised to know that there are companies still that work on 2010, 2013. I've even seen 2003 Excel. Okay. So companies still work on the older versions. So when you open the workbook containing that, what will happen? It automatically converted to a conventional array formula enclosed in curly braces. So when you open the worksheet again in the new Excel, the curly braces will be removed. The legacy Excel, the new dynamic array function and spill range references get prefixed with XLFN to indicate that this functionality is not supported. Most dynamic array formulas, but not all, will keep displaying the results in legacy Excel until you make any changes to them. If you edit the formula, it immediately breaks it and displays one or more name error values. Okay. So any version prior to 2016, if you share your dynamic array formula file with someone, it essentially only displays the results until and unless the person does not make any changes to the formula. If any changes are made to the formula, the result will get destroyed. It will result in a name error. Okay. Okay. So coming to errors, what is new with errors? So there is a new error called spill error. There is a new error called spill error. Okay. So in the dynamic array formula, it can lead to various errors when syntax is incorrect or invalid in the arguments used, like a normal formula, right? So अगर आपने किसी चीज को refer किया जो exist नहीं करता, तो you get a hashtag ref, right? If you're searching for a value that is not available, what will you get? A hashtag NA. So the three more common errors associated with a dynamic array formula is first is the spill error. When a formula produces multiple results but cannot output them all in the same range. A spill error occurs when the formula produces multiple results, but it cannot output them on the same sheet. So for example, if I write a formula and do you see here, it is not able to spill the results into multiple rows because the range of cells are quite large, but there is already data here. So it cannot replace the data that is already there, right? So why does it occur? When your spill range isn't blank. So like in this case, there is already values here. That's why you see a spill error. If there are merged cells, in case you're trying to, if even though they are blank, but if there are merged cells, you will get a spill error. Dynamic arrays are not supported in Excel tables. When I say Excel tables, it is a control T. So when you press control T, an Excel table gets created. When you press OK, it asks you if your table has headers. The dynamic arrays formula are not supported in the table arrays. Spill range is unknown. So Excel is unable to establish the size of the spill array, and spill range is too big. Excel is unable to output a spill array as it extends beyond the spreadsheet edges. Okay. These are some reasons why my voice is not coming. Achha, a second. What I will do is I will reconnect to a different Wi-Fi. Just give me a second. Can you guys give me 1 second? I'll change my location and I'll reconnect to a different Wi-Fi. Right? Just 1 second. Am I audible now correctly, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm sharing my screen. Perfect. I'll share my screen. Right. So till where did you guys hear me? You understood the spell error? Did you hear me talk about the spell error?
So not clearly.
Sir, please tell this again.
Okay, sure. So what is essentially new in terms of errors is that now that dynamic arrays has come in, if there is a new error that happens. So when I'm trying to write a formula, but that formula is obstructed by a data that is already present. So if I'm trying to write a formula which is obstructed by data that is already present, in that case you get a spill error. Basically, Excel is not able to spill that values because there are data in the range, right? So it can happen because the spill range isn't blank, right? If you look on the right hand side of the screen, it can happen because the spill range isn't blank, like we saw. Then if it is blank, but there is a merged cell in between, dynamic arrays will still not work. You will get a spill range error. If you're working on control T tables, so in Excel, you remember there are control T tables in Excel. So if you're working on those, you would still get an error because dynamic arrays don't work with that. If the spill range is unknown, right? So Excel is unable to establish the size of the spill array. And if it is too big, so Excel is unable to output a spill array as it extends beyond the spreadsheet edges. Okay. We'll come to this. Now what I want you to do is come to dynamic array errors and look at my screen once, and then you can replicate this example. Look at my screen once, and then you can replicate this example. Okay. So here we have list of customers, and if I quickly apply a filter, you can see that I have multiple customers, right, that are sorted. For some reason, they got sorted in ascending order. In my Excel, they were not sorted in ascending order. 1 second. In Excel, you guys stay on the online version. Right? You guys stay on the online version. Right. So, right. Actually, it was already at okay. That's not a problem. Right. So we have, like you see, we have data for multiple people. Okay. Now, if I wanted to get a unique list of customers, okay. If I want to get a unique list of customers, please understand, Excel mein earlier there was no one single formula that will help you get a unique unique value from a range of cells, unique values. Now you literally have a function called equal to unique. So with dynamic arrays, not just how Excel behaves, that has changed, but you get a list of additional formulas, right? Additional functionalities that have come in. So when I write equal to unique, right? And also on the Excel online version, it gives you a detailed description of what the formula does. So it tells you that it returns the unique values from a range or an array. It tells you what are the arguments of the formula. So if the formula works just this way, do you see that there are two arguments that are there in square brackets? What does this mean? The first argument is a normal array. You define your array, which is your range. Then there is a by call and an exactly once. What are these two arguments? Can anyone tell me why are they in square brackets? Can anyone tell me why are they in square brackets? Can anyone take a guess why they're in square brackets? Anyone? Why are they in square brackets? Because these are non-mandatory arguments. Like in a VLOOKUP, your last argument, which is where you define a true and a false, even if I don't put a 0 or a 1, my formula still works. In a VLOOKUP, what happens if I don't put a 0 and a 1? Does Excel take it as a 0, false, or a 1, true? What does Excel do? In a VLOOKUP, if I don't define the last argument, what does Excel do? Does it take it as a 0 or a 1 by default? You guys have done...
Takes it as false.
No, it takes it as 1. By default, Excel will take it as true. That is why it is mandatory to put 0, because whenever you want an exact match, which is going to be in most of the cases, you would have to put in a 0, explicitly define that 0. If you don't define the 0, then your output will not be correct. Okay. So any argument that is non-mandatory in a formula is going to be in square brackets. Okay. So here now, if I select my range of cells from, so I have 51,293 rows, and I press enter, you will see that a unique list of customers is generated. So although I have customers who've done 51,000 transactions with me, unique customers out of them are only 796. Unique customers are only 796. Okay. Now, this is what unique does, right? In the next column, what I want you to do is, when you do this, we just pay attention on the screen. I will give you time to practice. Okay. What is the difference between unique and distinct? Can anyone tell me? What is the difference between unique and distinct?
So unique is when it has appeared only one
Sorry?
time. So unique when the customer names appear only one time.
Only one time. Okay. So what we have done here is unique or a distinct?
Unique.
No, don't read the header. Think. Aaron Bergman is appearing multiple times. So is Aaron Bergman unique or distinct?
Here it is distinct.
Correct. So here it is distinct, right? So we quickly make that change in the headers as well. So these are a distinct customers. Although the formula is unique, the formula name is equal to unique. I'll show you how you can get a list of distinct customers as well. So within the formula, so what we just did was there are 796 distinct customers. Okay. How many of them are unique? So again, I will write my formula equal to unique. I will select my range. When you write a formula, so when I'm writing a formula, so let's say I start writing a formula, I go and select my range. It brings me to the last row. How do I come back to my formula? What is the shortcut? Without scrolling. Without scrolling from the 51,000th row, if I have to come back to my formula cell, I can press Control Backspace within the formula. I can press Control Backspace and it brings me back to the formula. Okay. अब देखो इसका what is the next argument? There is a by call. Okay. It is compares rows against each other and returns the unique rows. Compares columns against each other and returns the unique columns. Right. So we'll not be we don't need that as of now. So we'll skip that argument. And then we come to the third argument. Return items that appear exactly once, which is unique, and returns every distinct item. So here, what do we want?
Unique. True. The first one.
So I want the first one, right? So I can write a 1 or a true, and I pressed. I'm getting a calc error. Why? Do I have to write true only? Wait a second. Just give me a second. Oh, I think because there are none. Wait a second. Let me just. Acha, theek hai. So there were no unique customers in the list, right? That is why you were getting a calc error. There were no unique customers in the list. That is why you were getting a calc error, right? So if you change that, if you just put in your name in any of the cells, since my name is only appearing one time in the customer name list, then it is a unique customer. So basically, there's a customer that has only purchased from you one time. Okay. Now, let me also put the formulas at the top so that when you practice this, it'll be easy for you. ठीक है. अब आते हैं sorting पे. ठीक है. Here ना वो गलती से I cleared this example. Just copy any 3-4 cells and put them in the cell E7 when you do the example, so that you can understand what is spill behavior, how it works. Okay. So अभी क्या होगा? Now I want to sort this data. So again, there are two new functions in Excel called sort and sort by. Two new functions called sort and sort by. Okay. Sort is fairly simple. You choose the array that you want to sort. You choose the array that you want to sort. Now, remember that column C and column D, both of these are dynamic array formulas. Which means one result has spilled into a range. One formula has spilled into multiple results, which is a spilled range. So if I want to refer to the entire column, I will not select from C4 onwards. what I will just do is I will write C4 and I'll put a hash. I will write C4 and I'll put a hash. I'll write C4 and I'll put a hash. 1 second. C4 hash. ठीक है, it spells correctly. ठीक है. So if I write sort and I write C4 hash, it is same as selecting the entire column. It is same as selecting the entire column. Okay, if you write C4 hash, it is one and the same thing. Although you just see one single cell being selected, it is as good as selecting the entire column. How do I know? So if in any other cell I just put C4 hash, I will get all the results. I'll get all the results. Okay. So when you want to refer to a dynamically spelled range, you can put a hash after the first cell reference. Okay. So C4 hash, comma. Now sort index, right? What do you want to sort by? So maybe again there are multiple options. Okay. We are not concerned with the sort index because we just want to sort it in a simple descending order. So we'll look at these in more detail later. So right now I just wanted to sort it in a descending order. So I'll just put a -1, right? And I get a spill error. Do you see when I go to spill, do you see the blue border that is appearing? This border will appear till the 700th row. This border will appear till the 700th row. Why? Because that is still where it has to spill the data. It is still that range. Let me just show you because I have to stay on that cell. ये ना बड़ा. Can I come to the 700 cell this way? Just a second. Huh? There's no other way for me to show you that behavior. Just 1 second. I'll have to scroll. There's no other option. Maybe if I go full screen, that'll be better. We're almost there. So when my selection is on the first cell, jahan pe I wrote the formula where you see the spilled behavior, we have a total of 796 unique customers. Do you see? उसको पता है उसको यहाँ पे value डालनी है. It knows that it has to populate the value till here, but why is it not able to do it? Because there is obstruction in between, right? If I remove this, it works. If there are any values that are here, it will not work. So please try these 3 examples. Come to the sheet called dynamic array errors and please try these 3 examples. The formulas are at the top. Okay. Formulas are at the top. If you have any challenge in this, please let me know. I will redo or explain it again. Okay. But please try this. Please try this again. Once you do this, please let me know that you're done. And these are very simple examples that we're doing, right? Just to get an understanding of, show the sort function again. Sure. Samshim, why don't you share your screen and we'll do it on your screen only so that others can also see that. Just share your screen and we'll do it on your screen as well. I've stopped sharing my screen so you can share your screen. Right? Okay. So you start by writing equal to sort. Open your bracket. Okay. So what is your first value going to be? What are you going to write in the array? A4 and Saksham. No, go back. You will not select the range like this. Clear all the range. Just come back to the open bracket. Use your arrow keys. Select A4. Remove this A4 from here as well. Select your arrow. Click on your, Control Shift down the bow. Control Shift down on your keyboard. कंट्रोल बैकस्पेस दबाओ, नहीं 2 बार नहीं, 1 बार, एस्केप दबाओ, remove this range. You press it 2 times, that's why it went to the very last row. I don't want to go to the very last row, right? So control shift down only 1 time, control shift or down arrow 1 बार, बस stop. Now press control backspace, put a comma, ठीक है? Now you don't want to sort by a specific row or column, so we'll ignore that argument, comma. I just want to sort that data because I only have 1 column. I can't sort it by any other column. And here write a -1 and close your bracket. Close your bracket. Press enter and it'll get sorted. Right? You can try unique and distinct also. Okay. Well, first wala column is you can either write distinct in column B or D, however you want to do it. Okay. You can stop sharing your screen, Shastram. Thank you. Others, are you able to do these examples? In case you're facing any difficulty, please let me know. Okay. In case you're facing any difficulty, please let me know.
So can you please tell the spill one,
Spill में
the sort
वो
one?
हाँ. If I remove these values from here, the formula works. वो मैंने just to demonstrate कि spill होता क्या है. So basically अगर जहाँ formula spill होना चाहिए, वहाँ पे if there are some values, then the formula doesn't get spilled basically, right? So if I remove these obstruction, because I have selected the entire range from C4 till C51 to 93 by writing C4 hash. C4 hash क्यों लिखा मैंने? Because column C में already there is a dynamic spilled range. So if I come to column C, you see the blue border. मतलब एक dynamic array range है because एक formula has resulted into multiple results. So when I want to refer a dynamic array range in another formula, I do not have to write C4 is to colon C whatever and the last row is. I can just write C4 hash. I can just write C4 hash. But अगर मैं ये फॉर्मूला ऐसी जगह लिखता हूं जहां पे ऑलरेडी कॉलम में कोई वैल्यूज प्रेजेंट है, तो वो फॉर्मूला वर्क नहीं करता है बिकॉज वो बोलता है कि hashtag spill. It is not able to spill. That's why I went to the 700 row to show you that the formula understands. Do you see the blue border? The formula understands that it has to spill the result, but it is not able to do so because there are obstruction in between. ये है बेसिकली spill का मतलब. अगर आप इसको हटा दोगे तो फॉर्मूला वर्क करेगा, राइट? क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Please try all the 3 examples, everyone. वो unique में you might not get any value because in the customer name there is no customer that appears only a single time. I had actually added them earlier. I don't know कैसे, I might have changed the example, right? But कोई नहीं. Just let me know once you complete this example, guys. Done?
Done, sir.
Done? Perfect. ठीक है.
So what formula will we write if we want to check the unique customers whose name are coming only 2 times or 3 times?
Only?
Like 2 times in the
Then
list.
a simple unique will not work. So you will have to maybe use a unique with a count A for a count A, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, a simple unique in this case will not work. If you want to check if a single customer is appearing multiple times, or if you want to check if one customer has appeared 2 times, then in that only 2 times, for example, you would have to use a different formula, right? You would have to use it in combination with a count A for a count A. Now, let me hide the floating meeting controls and come back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So right, so this is what a split error is. उसके बाद let's look at the जो add operator था उसका क्या purpose है. The whole sole purpose of that add operator is
Sir?
it is known. Yes,
Sir, on my desktop it is the distinct function is not
sorry
working.
Saksham, I couldn't hear what you said. What is not working?
Sir, in my file the unique function is not working, like the formula when I'm putting it.
Can you share your screen? Please share your screen.
So here.
Yeah, because like I said, can you just go to cell A8? Can you press escape and go to cell A8? A8. Just type your name. Press enter. Because in the range, there is no value. Like I said, there is no value that appears only a single time. The formula does not give a result. But if there is a value that appears only a single time, in that case, the formula will give you a result. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Everyone, I hope you've tried all the 3 examples. Okay. And coming back to the PowerPoint. Huh. तो वो जो @ है ना, that's known as an implicit intersection operator. Implicit intersection operator. You can read more about that in the link that I've shared in the PDF. We'll not be spending a lot of time on it. Okay. Now coming to the next example. A traditional formula would require dollar signs. Okay. If I'm referring to a value from a single cell and I want to drag the formula down, that formula will require dollar signs. But in a dynamic array, I don't no longer need to use dollar signs. In a dynamic array, I no longer need to use dollar signs. In a dynamic array, I no longer need to use dollar signs, right? I will not need to use any dollar signs. So how does this essentially work is, if I come back to Excel Online and I come to the next sheet, which is commission relative. Now pay attention, everyone. Oh, it's already solved. You can just delete that. The solution was already present in column C. Just delete that. Essentially, what you would need to do is, if you wanted to calculate the sales, the discount value, the discount amount, you have the discount percentage cell F2. So I will have to come to cell F2. But if I just write it this way and try to drag the formula down, I will get incorrect results because I don't want the value in the position of cell F2 to move. So in that case, what I do is I apply dollar signs. What is the shortcut to apply dollar signs? What I want someone to unmute and answer this. What is the shortcut to apply dollar signs?
F4.
F4. F4 or function F4. So if I press it one time, what kind of reference is this? If there are 2 dollar signs, both column and row are frozen, what kind of reference is it?
So we are referring to a cell.
No, so what is it called? It's called an absolute reference. It's called an absolute reference, right? If I press F4 one more time, what will happen? The row gets freezed. This is what? A mixed reference. If I press F4 one more time, the column gets frozen. And if I press F4 a 4th time, there is nothing frozen. So I want to freeze my row and column, which is in the cell F2. So I do that, and then I can use Control D to copy the formula down. Okay. Now, if you come to the dynamic array sheet, right? Now here, you will see that rather than in a traditional formula where you have to select one cell, multiply it, if you select a range of cells and multiply it by one single value, if I select a range of cells and multiply it by one single value, you will see that in both the cases, the answers are going to be exactly the same. So for Mick Brown, the answer is 13,521. Again, here, the answer will be exactly the same. And you're not using any dollar signs. You're not using any dollar signs. What is essentially happening here is within this formula as well, each value from B4 to B20 is getting multiplied and populated. It is happening at a row level, right? It is happening at the row level. सारे values एक साथ नहीं multiply हो रहे हैं उस range से, उस percentage से. Row by row, it is iterating, and that is why it is able to give you correct results. That is why it is able to give you correct result. Okay. Please try this example, commission relative, where you write a normal formula like you do with dollar signs, and then try the commission dynamic arrays, where you want to find discount for all the percentages for all the customers. Please try these 2 examples, commission relative and commission dynamic. Commission relative and commission dynamic.
So what is the shortcut for deleting all the data in the cells at once?
First, you will have to select the range of cells. And then just press delete. Without selection, you cannot delete anything. So if I wanted to delete all the names of the customers, I would have to first select the range and then delete it.
So, but when I I'm pressing delete, it is only deleting the first row.
Well, that's because you've not selected anything. No? You've only selected the first row. When I mean select is, right now, how many cells have I selected? Right now, how many cells have I selected?
1,
One. Now,
all the cells.
right? So you first select all the cells and only this is what you're asking, right? Are you asking something else or this only?
So this only.
Haan, nahi. So first you select the range of cells and then only you'll be able to delete it. Just give me 1 second. I'll just turn on my charger. Let me know if you guys face any challenge. If you're not able to do anything, if you're not able to solve it. Abhi tak, whatever examples we've covered, is everything clear, everyone? A quick yes or no in the chat from all the 10 people, in fact. Yeah. Thank you, Saksham. Everyone else, what about you guys? Thank you, Vaishnavi, Tanisha, Divyansh.
I came a little late, so I missed the first topic.
Who was this? I couldn't. Saksham?
Akshay.
Akshit. Nahi, I'll give you, we do a revision now before after we come from the break at 12:15, when we go on a break at 12, we'll do a revision. Don't worry about that. Since you've joined, if you understood everything, you can still put a yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Sir, can you please explain the commission relative traditional method again?
Right.
The $sign one?
Yes, I'll do that. Let me zoom in. So if I want to calculate the discount amount for all these customers, I would have to essentially first refer the sales amount. Then I can either put in manually 1.2%, but I don't want to do that because the discount amount might change later on as well. So I want to make it dynamic. I want to make it dynamic by referring to the cell F2. I want to make it dynamic by referring to the cell F2. Now, when I refer to the cell F2, when I drag the formula down or copy the formula down, do I want F2 to become F3 or F4?
No, sir.
No, that's why I'll have to freeze it. That's why I have to freeze it, right? If I forget to freeze it, my formula becomes incorrect, right? If I just freeze the column and I don't freeze the row, again, my formula will be incorrect, right? If I just freeze the row, then it still works, right? So basically, I have to freeze that cell. So I press F4 or function F4, and then I copy the formula down till whatever row I want to copy the formula, right? And it works perfectly fine. And it works perfectly fine. How do I know it works? Because each row, the revenue is getting picked up correctly, the reference for the revenue or sales, and the reference for the discount percentage is also getting picked up correctly. So if I were to change this to 1.5, my output would also change. If I change it to 3, my output will also change, right? Now in a dynamic array formula, now here you have to remember to put $signs. You have to copy the formula down. Okay, there are two steps basically. Okay. Now in dynamic array, what happens is you don't have to worry about putting a formula, putting $signs to the cell reference, or copying the formula down. You just write one formula, you select your range of cells, you multiply it by whatever discount percentage you want to multiply it by, and it spills all the results in one single cell, through one single cell. Traditional में ये नहीं होता है. Traditional essentially requires you to copy the formula down, right? In a traditional array, it is different, but we're not looking at traditional array. हम traditional formula की बात कर रहे हैं. Traditional array, Control Shift Enter की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. जहां पे आप range of cells को select करोगे and then formula लिख के Control Shift Enter दबाओगे. We are not doing that. Traditionally, how you would write it earlier as a user of Excel, this is how you would do it. Because traditional array, although was a concept that existed, not a lot of people were working on it. Not a lot of people were working on it, right? So, agar aap, as an Excel user, before dynamic arrays, if I were to ask you to do this is how you would have done it. There was no other method for you to do it. You would have to select the sales value, select the discount percentage, या फिर आप मैनुअली, अगर आपको डॉलर साइन का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं पता, and there's not something to be surprised, there are people who do not know the concept of dollar signs because they've never encountered it. They would essentially come here, select the range, go back, multiply. Do you know the amount of time that this is going to take if you do this on 100 rows? A hell lot of time, right? So dynamic arrays basically has made you more efficient because now you don't have to write a copy formula more than one time. You just write it one time, there's no need for copying, and it gives you the result. These examples done, everyone? Unmute yourself
Yes,
and
sir.
tell yes or no.
Yes.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
So 1 minute.
जी हाँ, take your time. Yeah. Now you might say that we don't have the latest versions. Why do we need to learn dynamic arrays, right? Why do we have to take the effort of going to Excel online and practice these? Because although you don't have it, right? Tomorrow when you join an organization, they might have the latest version, right? And in that case, you don't want to be left behind. So if there is something that is already established in Excel as a topic, you should at least be aware of it. You don't need to be at an expert level, but an awareness and a foundational understanding is there, then you can build on top of it. But आपको पता ही नहीं होगा वो चीज है क्या, then you'll be lost. Now that at least you've seen what dynamic arrays is, you'll do a few more examples. That is when you'll get a good understanding of what dynamic arrays are. And I'm telling you, it is not as simple as it looks. These are the simplest examples that we're doing. It can get very complex with dynamic arrays. It can get very complex, right? So, perfect. Do I have any more slides? So the last slide, essentially, we can close the PowerPoint now. We don't have anything in the PowerPoint. Okay, come to the next sheet, everyone, and pay attention on my screen. Forecast scenario mixed. Forecast scenario mixed. Now, and I want your help in this, guys. Okay. Abhi, if you don't speak, I will have to take your names and then ask you to speak. So if I ask a question, if you know the answer, just go ahead and talk. Okay. If I were to calculate the growth percentages or the expected growth amount basis these percentages, how would I do it? In this case, how would I do it? I have how many? I have 17 subcategories. Against that, I have sales, let's say for last year. Okay. And I want to see that if I take 3 forecast percentages, what does my sale for the coming year look like? Okay. So how will I write? I start by writing an equal to, and what will I do? How will I write the formula?
From B.
B5 into 1.1.
B5 into,
1.1.
but I want to refer to that formula, refer to the cell by 10%, because if I write 1.1, tomorrow if it becomes 1.2, I have to come back and change it in the formula. So which cell do I refer to here?
Sir, C4.
C4, right? Can I press enter?
No, sir, the dollar sign you have to
So
put.
where do I put the dollar sign?
Before the row.
Where? In B5 or C4?
C4.
So in C4, I'll press function F2 2 times before the row. Okay. Now can I drag the formula down? If I drag the formula down, it works correctly, right? So each sales value is getting multiplied by C4 only. Now can I drag this formula to the right as well?
No, sir.
Then what will I have to do as the next step?
So we have to
Sir,
change the column.
We have to freeze the column in the reference B5,
Yes, sir.
right? So you press F and F4 3 times to freeze the column, copy the formula down, right? And now when I copy it towards the right, you will see that if I come to the last value, and let me zoom out a bit so that we can see what is happening here. Okay. If I come to the last value and press function F2, you will see that it is getting multiplied by the correct sales amount is getting multiplied by the correct percentage. Okay. By the correct percentage. Now again here, as an Excel user, you would have to do this. If you're not aware of dollar signs, you would essentially go to 3 separate columns and multiply and drag it down, right? Please do this first, everyone. Please do this one first, everyone. Please do this example, forecast scenario mixed. Please do forecast scenarios mixed. Please do forecast scenarios mixed. Once you're done with this, let me know. Then we'll look at how you would do this with dynamic arrays, where one formula would entail multiple results for you. Well, one formula would entail multiple results for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. Please try this, everyone. Done?
Yes, sir.
Others? Okay. Thank you, Saksham, for the confirmation. And thank you to... I can't see your names now, sorry. Whoa, when you speak, since I've kept only my face in the window because it obstructs the views. So, how would you do this with dynamic arrays? Can anyone try to do it? Just tell me, don't do it on your screens. Come back to my screen. Tell me how you would do it, and then you can do it on your screen. With dynamic arrays, how would you do it? Anyone would like to give it a try? Yes.
Sir, we will drag all the sales value and multiply it by 10%.
Multiply it only by 10%. Then it will give me values only for that cell, for that column. What if I want to spill all the results for all the values? How will I do that then? You're close. Can you think?
We'll select 10%, 15%, and 20% together.
Okay, so you select the entire range of cells, right? So I'll select the entire range of cells. And now when I press enter, what will happen? All the values in a single click will get populated. All the values in a single click will get populated. No need to drag formulas. No need to copy formulas. No need to write multiple formulas. No need to put dollar signs. Remember anything. Just write your formula and you get the output. Now, here, again, the formula is stored only in the first cell. None of the other cells have the formula. Okay? None of the other cells have the formula. So if you want to change anything, you'll be able to delete a part of an array. You'll be able to delete a part of an array. But you can't delete in the sense you can, if you replace it with another value, it breaks, but you basically can't do a backspace. You basically can't do a backspace and remove the value. If you literally change the value to something else, the entire formula breaks because it is one single formula, not multiple formulas. Right? Please try this, everyone. Let me put the formula at the top as well. Array, sorry. Perfect. Let me know once done, and then we'll look at the other examples. Perfect. Done, everyone? Just give me 1 second. Done? Can I move on to the next example? Perfect. Okay. Now we have a few more examples that we'll do. Okay. Now we've already done this. Now here I want, in this example, I think you will get distinct. I have to write here. यहाँ पे है distinct वाला example. वहां पे ना मैंने add नहीं किया था. I've added it here. तो यहाँ पे चलो. In column G, please find distinct customers. In column I, please find unique customers. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to do this. It's 11:31. 11:36 पे I'll show you how to do it. You have 5 minutes. Please try this. In column G, find your distinct customers. You should essentially have 2 values. In your distinct customers, you should have 2 values. In your unique customers, you should have 798 values. आपको सिर्फ कस्टमर कॉलम से कस्टमर नेम कॉलम से आउटपुट निकालना है. In column G and in column I. Let me know how you would do it. Please try this example, everyone. You've got 3 more minutes and then we'll look at how to do it. Okay. Excel Online is a little better in terms of it shows you what the formula can do. In terms of the arguments, it gives you an example. It gives you the explanation of what it can do, right? And if you click on this button at the end of the formula, then it opens a help window as well. Right? तो यहाँ पे आपको screenshot के साथ example मिल जाते हैं. There are multiple examples. तो कोई भी चीज आपको अगर सीखनी है, so you can come to either go, and this is from the official Microsoft documentation only, right? So you can either come to another, you can come to Excel Online to learn how to use this formula. Okay. You can come to Excel Online to learn how to use this formula. Done. Great suction. Right. Okay. We'll wait for the others 2 more minutes and then we'll look at how to do this. Perfect, Akshat. Great, Vaishnavi. So last 1 minute, everyone. If you're able to do it, that's fine. If you're not able to do it, that's also fine because it's the first time that you're working on it, right? But if you think a little, it's very logical. Okay. So everyone on my screen now. Everyone on my screen now. Okay. Very simple. Let us look how we would do it. Acha, in distinct, how many values do you have, Tanisha? In distinct, how many values do you have? In distinct customers, how many values do you have, guys? Saksham says 2. What? How many number? What is distinct? What is distinct? What is distinct, everyone?
So different customers.
Sorry?
Different customers. How many different customers are there?
Right. So irrespective of whether they appear one time or multiple times, irrespective of that. So if I just go and select unique, I will have how many? 798 customers, right? I'll have 798 customers because this is my unique list of customers, distinct customers. अभी वो formula का name unique है, but that formula also gives you the functionality to actually get the unique customers. So जो by default formula में output निकालते हो वो distinct होता है. अगर आपको unique चाहिए तो आप कैसे करोगे? So first in column G I have written a normal formula which takes only one argument, which is unique A3 to A51292. It gives me 798 customers. 800 नहीं है, 798 है, because I had added only 2 people for distinct example. So now here, what will I do is I will write unique. Rather than going and selecting my original range, I will select my G4 hash range. G3 hash. G3 hash, comma. The last argument, second argument we'll skip. The last argument will be what? True. Last argument will be what? True. One second. Unique G3 hash, comma. Oh, sorry. False. इसमें नहीं, इसमें. Return item that appear exactly once. हम तो true ही करेंगे. अच्छा नहीं, तो we won't do it on G3 hash because G3 hash में already मेरा value एक ही बार है, तो सब कुछ repeat होगा. We'll select the original range, which is A2, A3 till the last one, right? And you can then only get 2 values. I can't select G3 because G3 में already individual values ही हैं. Nothing is getting repeated, right? So अगर मुझे मेरे original list of customers से distinct customers निकालने हैं, so this is the formula that I will use. Simple unique equal to unique, right? And if I want to get, so that will give me a distinct. It won't actually give me a unique list. But if I actually want to get a unique list, then I'll have to write the formula by selecting the range first. We can ignore the second argument because we're not returning by any column condition. And the last argument we can choose as true, which is return items that appear exactly once. I hope you have got the same results, everyone. Have you got the same results?
Yes.
हाँ, 800 नहीं था values. तो जिनका 800 आ रहा था, I don't know कैसे आ रहा था आपका 800, because 798 ही है. ठीक है.
My sheet is different from this sheet.
Sorry?
So my unique sheet is different from this sheet.
What do you mean it is different?
Sir, I don't have customer names and everything in my sheet. I
Can
only
you-
have sales value.
Can you share your screen?
Yes.
Yeah, please. ऐसा होना तो नहीं चाहिए, because we are all working on the same file. Garima, can you scroll to the left? नीचे scroll bar है ना, वहां से left में scroll करो.
Oh, okay, sir.
ठीक है. You can stop sharing your screen now. कोई नहीं, happens to the best of us. Right. ठीक है. Now come to sort, everyone. Come to sort. ठीक है. Come to sort. Now, is there a way in Excel where I can sort using levels? Is there a way in Excel where I can sort my data using levels? Wherein I say कि पहले इस level पे sort करो, फिर अगले level पे sort करो. Can I do that? Yes, there is an option called custom sort, right? Custom sort. And then there is something called as normal sorting, right? But now there's a formula called sort, right? There's a formula called sort, which is fairly simple. ठीक है. तो सबसे पहले I choose my array. So let's say I want to sort this entire list of data, entire range of data. Then sort index में a number indicating the column or the row to sort by. So let's say I want to sort by my sales value. So my sales value is at what position? What is the index for my sales value column? What is the position of my sales column in my range A3 to D25?
D3 to
Sorry?
D25. D3 to D25.
No. What is the index? What is a number indicating the row or column to sort by? A number. So what number should I put here? The position of the column. So the position of the sales column is what? The position of the sales column is what?
D2.
No, again. In a VLOOKUP, in a table array, आप column index number लिखते हो. Column index number में क्या लिखते हो? जिस column से आपको output चाहिए?
4.
Correct. So here it will be again, you have to put the index number, which means the position of the column, which will be 4. Correct. Who said that?
Akshay.
ठीक है, Akshay. Great. So when you're asked to put a position, you put the position of the column. ठीक है. Now, do you want to sort it by ascending or descending? Let's say I want to sort this by descending order, right? I want to sort this by descending order, and we'll ignore the last argument because we've already defined our sort column. So -1 and enter. Okay. And you will see that the data gets sorted by your sales column in a descending order. So your original data remains unchanged. Your original data remains unchanged, and the extract of it is getting sorted. The extract of it is getting sorted. Please try this. Please try this, everyone. Formula text. Please try this example, everyone. Done. Perfect. Thank you, Saksham. Thank you, Sakshi, for the confirmation. Sorry, Vaishnavi, not Sakshi. Sorry. Others, please try this example. Are there 2 Sakshams?
Yes, sir.
Achha. Perfect. So everyone is almost. So I get confirmation for 50% of you. And then I can move on. Any doubts so far? Any doubts in dynamic? Are you getting a sense of what dynamic arrays can do? Again, we are not even touching the tip of the iceberg. This is very foundational, very basic, which is okay because all of us start at the basic level. But at least now you have an understanding of how you can proceed with this, right? How you can proceed with this. Okay. Now come to the next sheet, sort by. Come to the next sheet, sort by. And here, again, first look at my screen. So there's another function called sort by. Sorts a range based on a corresponding range. Sorts a range based on a corresponding range. So if I wanted to sort my data from A3 to D25 by array 1, ठीक है? अब by array 1 का मतलब क्या है कि इसमें ना आप multiple arrays define कर सकते हो, ठीक है? तो जो मैं custom sorting बता रहा था आपको, this is how you can do it. So let us say first I want to sort my segment column. So I will have to choose the array. Now I don't have to put the index number, right? It is asking by array. Array means a range. So I will select my segment column. I'll put comma and I want that in an ascending order. Okay? Or a descending order. Let's say -1. Matlab alphabetically ABC, right? No, so I'll put 1 only, no? 1. Okay? Then I want to sort my subcategory. Then I want to sort by my subcategory again in an ascending order. So I will select my subcategory. Let me make this 25. And I'll choose ascending. Okay? Let me close the chat window. And also let me break this into multiple lines. Okay? So that you can read it easily. Okay? So sort by में आप multiple levels of sorting define कर सकते हो और जिस order में आप define करते हो उसी order में sorting होती है. So सबसे पहले मैंने पहले range को select किया जिसको मुझे sort करना है, which is A3 to D25. Then I selected the first column through basis which I want to sort. So I want to sort by my segment column. How do I want to sort? Sort order 1 or -1. 1 is for ascending, -1 is for descending. Then I chose my other column, which is C3 to C25, which is going to be what? My subcategory column. Jisme again I want to sort in a descending order. Then Then again, I want to sort by array. Let me break this into multiple lines. Okay, if actually even before I sort basis my segment, I want to sort by my customer name. So I'll select A2, say A25, and I want to sort that by again ascending order. Then my segment, then my subcategory, and finally, then I want to sort by my sales. Then finally, I want to sort by my sales, right? So actually, not all shortcuts work on this now. So I end up using shortcuts. I forget that they don't work on this. So take a Alt Enter. And last argument क्या होगा मेरा? Last argument I want to sort by my sales amount. So sales is where D2 to D25, comma -1 because sales मुझे highest or lowest चाहिए. And now I can close the bracket. Now I can press enter and I get an error. Why am I getting an error?
So
Because
it's A3 and D3.
oh sorry, yes. D2. D3. अच्छा the ranges should be same. अगर आपका range अलग होगा तो output नहीं आता है. ठीक है. Now do you see what is happening here? Each customer name is appearing first. Then उस customer ने किस category में purchase किया है वो पहले आ रहा है. फिर किस सब category में वो उस order में आ रहा है. And then sales are coming in highest to lowest order. Right? Sales are coming in highest to lowest order. अगर आपको एक custom sort से करना हो तो आप कर सकते थे. कोई challenge नहीं है. But it does not write a formula for you. It is not dynamic. Right? And it is sorting on that data. So it is dynamic only in that sense कि वो उसी data पे sort कर रहा है. यहाँ पे you're creating an extract of your data and you're modifying it however you want. You're modifying it in whatever shape, form you want. ठीक है? इसका formula let me put on the side because this is a little longer. Did you understand? Did you want me to show this again? Do you want me to show this formula again? Everyone, do you want me to show this formula again? Yeah, is it clear?
Clear, sir.
It's clear? Please try this then. Logical है बहुत. Step by step जाओ आप. सबसे पहले आप रेंज को सिलेक्ट करो जिसको आपको सॉर्ट करना है. देन उसके बाद आप एक एक कॉलम सिलेक्ट करो जिस बेसिस पे आपको सॉर्ट करना है और फिर आप डिसाइड करो असेंडिंग या डिसेंडिंग. 1 is ascending and -1 is a descending. Please try this and let me know once you're done. If you have any questions, or if you want me to repeat it, please let me know. Great, Vaishnavi. Else. Perfect, Tisha. Great. Others, please try this. Please try this example. Let me know once you guys are done. Others, you can take some time. You can take a few more minutes. That's okay. Let me just know once you're done. Take it, 3 of you are done. Great, Saksham. Great, Akshat. Okay. Anyone facing any challenge? Or has everyone understood? Anyone facing any challenge? Anyone facing any challenge in the example? Anyone facing any challenge in the example?
No, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Now we have 2 more examples. Or we look at filter. We look at the filter function. And then we look at something called as lifetime sales का calculation. ठीक है. इसमें for some reason answer है, तो आपको answer हटाना पड़ेगा एक बार. But anyways, when we come to that, we come to that. Let's take a short 15-minute break. It's 11:53. Everyone, please come back by 12:10. I will start sharp at 12:10. ठीक है. It's 11:53 right now. We'll start sharp at 12:10. ठीक है. So please take the 15-minute break, because then we'll continue from 12:10 till 2 p.m. onwards. We'll not take any break henceforth, like we do in the normal classes as well. So please take the 15-minute break and see you all at 12:10. Okay? All okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Perfect. So 12:10 it is, right? So sorry, I did not start sharing my screen. So we just did the filter function, wherein we specify that first you select a range that you want to filter, and then specify the condition basis which you want to create the filter, right? So here I want to look at rows only where the person Craig, the customer Craig Reader is appearing. That is why we've done it this way, right? Any doubts, anyone? Any doubts, anyone? Can I move on to the next one? Can I move on to the next example?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now here, if you will see, I've added two values here, right? I've added two values here. Okay. So now we'll refer to the, I've created data validation. You all know how to create data validation, right? In fact, we'll have to do it again. We'll have to do the data validation again. Okay. Please come to column F. Please come to column F. Come to F6. Come to F6. Okay. यहाँ पे ना just write equal to unique. Equal to unique. Okay. And just select your entire segment column. So you will have three values. Then उसके बाद add a column. Column G में select your unique list of your subcategory, let's say. Select a unique list of your customer, of your segment and subcategory. Column F or G में create a unique list of your segment and your subcategory. Please do this, everyone. Please do this. Create a unique list of your segment and your subcategory in column F and G. Done. Let me know once you're done with this. Let me know once you're done with this. In column F and G, create a unique list of your segment, and in column G, create a unique list of your subcategory. Done. Thanks for the confirmation, Akshit. Okay. Now, if you come towards the right, please come to column N. Please come to column P and Q and R. यहाँ पे do you see two values? यहाँ पे do you see two values, everyone? In your sheets as well, do you see two values?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll delete them. Come to row Q4. Come to the cell Q4 and create a data validation. In that, please select the values from column F. So F5, F6 से F7 तक value select कीजिए. F6 से F या F6 hash करेंगे तो भी चलेगा, या F6 से X7 तक कर लीजिए. So you will have F6 hash. Apply. तो यहाँ पे ना अब आपका एक ड्रॉप डाउन क्रिएट हो जाएगा for your segment. And then R column in R4, in the cell R4, do the same thing, but here create it for your subcategories जो आपने column G में बनाई है, right? I can write G6 hash. Why is it showing G6 hash and why is it not showing G6 is to G22, which is the last row? Why is it showing G6 hash? Anyone?
Sir, hash, it means all the values in that particular column.
And why does it work normally or only in what case? When that column is a dynamically created column, which is it means a dynamic formula, dynamic array formula, right? So basically आपको दो drop downs create करने हैं in the cell Q4 for your consumer, corporate office and home office, basically your segment, and in column R for your phone, chair and etc. Right? Tables, subcategories basically. ये हो गया? Done with this?
Sir, can you give a minute?
हाँ, take your time. I have to keep on asking because you guys don't give me a confirmation once you've done. After that, I was having network issue. We just started with the filter section, nothing else. We've just started with the filter function. We've not done anything else after the break.
So like I did add the data validation for the for the segment, but the problem is that I don't have any, like, you have consumer written on the top, and then when you
Oh,
go,
then no, it's just because first time when you create, it shows you blank. Click on the drop down and choose anything that it works.
okay.
Click, yeah. Done? Okay. Now, we will filter our data basis conditions, okay? So what I mean by that is, right now we specify the name of the customer in the formula. Now I have to go and change the formula again and again. We'll make it dynamic. We'll say that you want to filter. Again, we want to filter our range, which is in A to D. I'll press Control backspace to come to the formula. Okay. And now here, I will have to write the include argument. So I want to filter basis my segment. So I will come back to my original data and select my segment column. But I will write segment equal to the cell Q4. Segment equal to the cell Q4. Right?
Sir,
Segment
can you
equal to,
give just a minute? Like, I am lagging behind.
where are you stuck?
Sir, actually, I was adding the data validation because what the thing is that the rows in your sheet and the rows in our sheet is different. So first you told us to add in Q4. So Q4 in my sheet is different. So that's why I added in the wrong cell. So if you could give a minute.
हाँ मतलब ठीक है वो यार I just added a gap column in between, nothing else. That's why the rows might have shifted. In your case, if it is something else, if it's not Q4, it's something else, and you write that wherever you've put the data validation. Wherever
Okay.
you've put the data validation for segment, that is what you refer to inside this formula.
Okay, sir. Okay, so then you can continue. I've done that.
ठीक है हाँ it does not have to be in Q4 guys. Excel है cell reference है. आपके इसमें cell reference कहीं और है, मेरे इसमें कहीं और है, तो आप वही cell को refer करो जहाँ पे आपका cell reference बना हुआ है. ठीक है. So I start by writing the filter function. ठीक है. I define my array. Then I want to put in my include argument in which I select my segment. And I say that my segment is equal to the value where you've created the data validation. ठीक है. तो मेरा Q4 है, आपका कहीं और होगा segment के लिए, not subcategory. And I close my bracket. ठीक है. I'll also break this into different lines. Okay. And now here you first thing you observe that जब मैं एक individual cell को select करता हूँ, I don't have to put dollar signs, right? Because this is dynamic array formula, right? Secondly, now you're seeing data only for the consumer segment, right? Now, if I want to look at data for some other segment, I can just go to consumer, change it to corporate, and it gets filtered. Change it to home office, and it gets filtered, right? And if I put an asterisk in the data validation, you'll have to, चलो ठीक है, let's ignore the asterisk. Basically, whatever values you have in the data validation, consumer, home office, and corporate, you can switch between them dynamically, and you don't have to go back to the formula to change the values again and again. Please try this. Filter with cell reference. Please try this, everyone. Filter with cell reference.
So in this, our data would change as we change
The drop down.
option.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because you are filtering basis that segment column, basis that value in the cell. So यहाँ पे whatever you choose, it will filter basis that value. And let us say for some reason, if you want to look at all the three together as well, अभी आप क्या कर सकते हो वो नहीं कर सकते. अभी you can choose either one of these, right? Either one or the other, correct?
Yes.
If you want to select all three of them, what you will have to do is, पहले has everyone reached up till this point? Has everyone reached up till this point?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So I'll keep my selection on the cell where my data validation for segment is. I'll go back to data validation. और यहाँ पे in the hashtag F6 जहां लिखा हुआ है ना, वहां पे what I'll do is I'll add an asterisk here. First I'll have to add an asterisk in the segment column and in the subcategory column. I'll paste that as value. I'll paste this as value. I want to remove the formula. Paste as value कैसे होता है? Values only, Control Shift V. ठीक है? I'm removing the formula because I want to add an asterisk. Control Shift V is a shortcut. ठीक है? तो एक बार column F और G में आइए. Just select all your three values. Control C and Control Shift V to paste as value. Similarly, do it the same for subcategory. और last में put an asterisk under both these columns. Last में put an asterisk under both these columns. Let me know once you've done this. Basically, जो आपने unique formula लगाया था, you're removing that and you're pasting it as value. I'll tell you why in a second. Done?
So can you please repeat?
जहां पे आपने यूनिक सेगमेंट और यूनिक सब कैटेगरी निकाला था आफ्टर योर डेटा, व्हाटएवर कॉलम दैट वाज E F G H, हैव यू हैड द वी क्रिएटेड दीस टू कॉलम्स, करेक्ट?
Yes, sir.
इसमें जस्ट सिलेक्ट वन रेंज, उसको पेस्ट एज वैल्यू करना है, फॉर्मूला हटा देना है बेसिकली. तो कंट्रोल सी और कंट्रोल शिफ्ट वी शॉर्टकट है उसका, तो पेस्ट एज वैल्यू हो जाएगा. तो नाउ देयर इज नो फॉर्मूला, देयर इज जस्ट वैल्यूज. और उसके बाद एक एस्ट्रिक्स ऐड कर दो फोर्थ रो में. सिमिलरली सब कैटेगरी में सिलेक्ट द रेंज, कंट्रोल सी कंट्रोल शिफ्ट वी, पेस्ट एज वैल्यू, बेसिकली फॉर्मूला हट जाएगा. एंड उसके बाद एनवेलप्स के बाद एक एस्टेरिस्क डाल दो लास्ट रो में. डन?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है
Sir,
जी.
sir, can you explain this data validation point again because since I joined late?
Sorry, can you be a little louder?
Sir, can you explain the data validation point again because I joined the network issue, so I am not able to understand it.
Have you created this?
No,
Have you created two
sir.
columns that you see on my screen?
Sir, we have to create a unique one.
Yeah, your voice is very low. Can you be a little louder?
Sir, I not created this thing like segment and subcategory.
Have you created these two columns?
No, sir.
No. ठीक है. So कुछ नहीं करना है आपको. आपको दो कॉलम बनाने हैं. Basically, we want to get a unique list. So just create two columns in between. Just copy the headings from here and यहाँ पे equal to unique लिखो and segment का unique बनाओ. उसके बाद equal to unique लिखो and create a unique of the subcategory column. That's it, nothing else. Then Control C, Control Shift V, paste as value. Control C, Control Shift V to paste as value. Done? Then उसके बाद just put an asterisk last row में दोनों तरफ. Just put an asterisk.
Sir, how you have created subcategory?
Sorry?
How you have created subcategory?
Just equal to unique and then select the subcategories from C6 to C51295. Same way.
Okay.
यूनिक में आप एक ही आर्गुमेंट डालो. अगर आप रेंज ऑफ सेल्स डालोगे, so it will give you unique cells, unique results. I just wrote equal to unique and I selected the range of cells that I want the unique values from. So मैंने C6 से C51295 तक select कर लिया. ठीक है? So now everyone has this with asterisks. Now what we'll do is we'll come back to our cells where we wrote the data validation. वो Q, R जो भी cells हैं आपके, basically आप कोई भी एक cell choose करो at the top by adding a few extra rows so that you have some space and just create a data validation in one cell for your segment and in one cell for your subcategory. तो जो segment cell का data validation है, now you will no longer get a hashtag because अब वो dynamic range नहीं है, it's a normal value. So आपको F जहां पे भी आपका range है basically select all the segments plus the asterisks and click on apply. Similarly, for subcategory, come back, go to data validation, and hold on, it's loading. Right, यहाँ पे again G6 मत लिखो, come back, select the entire column where you've mentioned your segments, mention your subcategory along with the asterisks. Press OK. Press OK.
So why are we doing this?
We're getting the asterisks because right now when you had only 3 values, you could only see results only for the 3 values. आपके पास कोई all का function नहीं है. The asterisk basically is an all, right? So when I select consumer, I get data for consumer. When I select asterisk, it breaks because okay, so maybe the asterisk doesn't work in the dynamic array formula. But जब आप एक normal data validation बनाते हो, so for example, if I were to create a normal data validation, just give me a second. So again, this is something that you will have to know only with practice, that some features don't work in dynamic arrays. Just for example, dynamic arrays does not work in table. For some reason, this also does not work here. So consumer, home office, and say office 3. Okay. So if I create a data validation and say equal to SUMIF range, criteria is in, let's say, F1, and some range is this. Okay. मैं ना एक सेकंड बस चेक कर रहा हूँ. The asterisk typically works as long as I remember. It used to work. अब एक बार देख लेते हैं. If it is not working only in dynamic array, ठीक है. तो nothing, I just written a simple SUMIF formula. अब यहाँ पे F में मैं डेटा वैलिडेशन डालूंगा तो उसी सेल का मुझे टोटल दिखाएगा जहां का डेटा वैलिडेशन में जहां जो मेरा रेंज है. सो सोर्स में I'll go and select these 4 things. So okay, I put an asterisk here. It will come in the data validation as well. So if I choose home office, you see 2. If I see consumer, you see 1. And if I choose an asterisk, you'll see 6. So asterisk works normally in Excel, but for some reason dynamic array में वो work नहीं करता है. That's why we're getting a calculation error, right? Like you see, if I choose individual values, I get the value for that. But if I choose the asterisk, it shows me the total for all the values. ठीक है, तो अभी के लिए asterisk won't work in dynamic arrays, but something you can remember for something else. तो कभी आप किसी single cell को refer कर रहे हो and you want all the values, तो आप asterisk डाल सकते हो. तो asterisk will refer to all the values. ठीक है. Filter with cell reference हो गया सबका? Has everyone done filter with cell reference?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now we'll filter with the and the or condition. ठीक है. So how do you define and you have done conditional statements, right, guys? You have done conditional statements with and or, right? Havi sir has covered that for you.
Yes, sir.
ठीक
Yes,
है.
sir.
Perfect. So and के लिए Akshit, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Subcategory filter is not working.
Can you share screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Show me your formula. No, show me the value, the formula in N4. Cell N4. Can you double click? Can anyone tell me why when Akshit selects a subcategory, it does not change the value? It does not change the data. Why? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me why? Akshit, hold on a second. मत लिखो. आप समझ गए हो? मत लिखो. Can anyone else tell me why when Akshit changes the value in R2, he changes the subcategory, he does not get any change in the formula. Why? Vaishnavi, why? Why is this not working?
So because the Q2 is not the whole cell, like the whole column.
Pranshu, why is this not working? Divyansh?
Yes, sir.
Because he's not put it in the formula. If you don't specify that your segment is also equal to R2, जब वो फॉर्मूला में है नहीं तो वर्क कैसे करेगा? राइट अक्षित, आपको Q2 के बाद कॉमा डाल के you will have to go back to your original data, select your segment column, subcategory column as well, select the entire subcategory, control shift down, control backspace, comma, sorry, equal to the cell value in R2, and now press enter. Oh, it's not working for any one of us, is it? नहीं अक्षित अक्षित अक्षित, अभी हमने सिर्फ Q2 को सेलेक्ट किया है, हमने R को फॉर्मूला में डाला नहीं था। ये अब हम एंड में करेंगे। We've created that because अभी हमें नेक्स्ट वाला जो है ना एंड कंडीशन, उसमें करना है। तो नॉर्मली अगर आपको दो कंडीशन डिफाइन करने, जैसे भी अक्षित ने किया है, राइट, इज ग्रेट दैट वी सॉ दिस। सो इफ यू वांट टू डिफाइन टू कंडीशंस, यू कैन नॉट डिफाइन इट दिस वे इन द फिल्टर फंक्शन। थोड़ा सा अलग है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ एनीवन कैन टेल मी in the if condition, if I have to define two and conditions, what do I use? What function do I use? In an if formula, if I have to define two conditions, what function will I wrap my logics in? And if I want to do or, what will I use? और तो यहाँ पे वो वर्क नहीं करते हैं, और यहाँ पे सिंपल कॉमा आल्सो डजंट वर्क। सो अक्षत, आप लास्ट आर्गुमेंट हटा सकते हो इस फॉर्मूला में से। अभी हम एक सिंगल, हमने सिर्फ Q2 को ही रेफर किया था, हमने सब कैटेगरी क्रिएट किया है बट उसको रेफर नहीं किया था, ठीक है। नाउ इन द कॉलम S वील राइट रेफर टू बोथ ऑफ दीज, ठीक है। तो एक बार आप स्टॉप शेयरिंग कीजिए।
बंद हो गई शेयरिंग?
हाँ मैंने कर दिया, कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है। नाउ एवरीवन प्लीज पे अटेंशन। इफ यू हैव टू लुक एट डेटा for consumer and table, let's say, basically the values in the drop down, if you have to filter basis two condition, not one condition, this is how you will have to do it. So we'll write the filter, go back, select your entire range, control backspace to come to your formula, comma. Now to define your entire range or define two specific conditions, first you will open the bracket. मेरा पहला आर्गुमेंट क्या होगा? That I want to select my segments. I want to select my segments. So I will come to my original data. I will select all my segments. Control backspace, equal to wherever the data validation for segment is created. Wherever the data validation for segment, मेरा Q4 में है, आपने कहीं और क्रिएट किया होगा तो उस सेल को चूज करना है। Then you close the bracket. यहाँ पे आप and function नहीं डिफाइन कर सकते within the filter function, ठीक है। तो the तरीका is, the way is, you put an asterisk to define the second condition, right? So my second condition is what? I want to choose a subcategory basis the category that is there in column, subcategory that is there in the cell R4. So I will go back to my original data. I will select all my subcategory, control backspace to come back to the formula. Also, this will also have to be within the brackets. जो asterisk के बाद वाला भी argument है, उसको भी आपको brackets में डालना पड़ेगा. And my segment data range will be equal to what? The cell R4 in my case, because वहां पे मेरे subcategory का drop down है. Whatever cell you've created the drop down for your subcategory, you will select that cell, right? And now when you press enter, sorry, equal to filter. Achha, I'll have to close my bracket, right? So you will see data only for consumer and table. If I change this to something else, right? You'll see data for consumer and chairs. If you change to something else, data for corporate and chairs. ठीक है? Please try this, everyone. The function and cannot be used within the filter function. The function and cannot be used within the filter function. Let me break this into multiple lines also so that it is easier to read. Right? The asterisk acts like an and in this case. The asterisk acts like an and in this case. Right? Similarly, in the next one, we'll see how to do it with an or, right? But the asterisk acts as an and. Okay? Please try this, everyone. Please try this. Please try this, everyone. Perfect. Thank you for the confirmation, Vaishnavi. What about the others? Are you able to understand this one? Basically, we define two conditions, but rather than in an if statement where we start with an and put the logics inside, the filter function does not take the and function. You represent it by an asterisk. You represent it by an asterisk.
So sir, like while we are applying and formula, we can use asterisks also instead of using and.
Like generally you're saying?
Yeah.
One second, I'll have to check. I don't remember. एक second, I'll have to check. I'm not sure you can. I'll have to check एक बार. I have not read up on it. I'll have to check. I'll make a note. मैं ना पढ़ के आपको ग्रुप पे बता दूंगा या कोई आर्टिकल में शेयर कर दूंगा. ठीक है.
Okay sir.
हाँ. But within the filter आप define नहीं कर सकते. Within the filter सिर्फ these work. ठीक है. Everyone done with and? Is my keyboard not? Just a second, guys. My keyboard has stopped working for some reason. Let me just refresh. Everyone's done with and. Can I move to the or condition?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Right. Similarly, now with the or condition, we'll not use data validation. We'll use something else. Okay. We'll define the arguments within the function. So I start by writing the filter function. In my array, what will I choose? The original data set. Control backspace to come back to the formula. Then comma mein, I want to say that if my segment control backspace is equal to consumer, मैं अभी formula में define कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है. और मैं bracket close करूँगा. ठीक है. If my segment is consumer, and I'll put a plus. Now the plus represents the or operator. The plus represents what? The or operator. The or operator. ठीक है. If my segment is consumer or my, let's say, sales, my sales is greater than equal to, yeah, I have to remember a second, greater than equal to, let's say, 500 and I press enter, this will not work because I'll have to define this inside a, will still not work. Why does it not work? D. And again here, it will be D6 to 505. 1 second, guys.
Sir, I think you should put the double quotes after the greater
After the
than equal to. Greater than equal to.
नहीं, फिर वो उसको as a string consider करेगा.
Okay, sir.
हाँ. See, I put it after the equal to also. 1 second. So if I just put equal to 500, this is also not working. So there's some other issue. So I said A6 to, achha, sorry. I said the entire range again. In my consumer is not in the entire table ना. मेरा जो consumer का value है वो columns B में है. तो उधर I don't have to select the entire column. Here, when I selected A से D should equal to consumer, it is just B6 to B51295 that is equal to consumer. And then, so equal to 500 did not work, but at least we got the formula working. One more second. So then in the OR condition, so basically in the OR, what I'm basically saying is, if my value is either consumer or it is equal to 500, right? So आपको या फिर consumer दिखेगा, ठीक है? या फिर consumer दिखेगा, या आपको दूसरे values दिखेंगे जहां पे value greater than 500 है, जहां पे greater than 500 है, ठीक है? But वो greater than कैसे define करेंगे? एक बार देख लेते हैं. Equal to, greater than equal to 500, and I press enter. Correct. So you'll define it this way only. You'll define it this way only, like I did earlier. I just made an error in this part. And let me break it into multiple lines. Okay, इस तरीके से. Let me expand it a little so that. So here we are trying to filter basis an OR condition where we say either or. Okay, either or, where we say that if value is greater than equal to 500, तो आप वो rows भी show करो, या फिर अगर value is equal to consumer, तो आप वो rows show करो. ठीक है. Please try this, everyone. Please try this, everyone. And may, like you all know, both the conditions have to be true. In an OR, either one of the conditions has to be true. Either one of the conditions has to be true.
So if I'm not putting the double quotation marks, then also it's working. But if I'm putting quotation marks, it's not working.
Have you written exactly the way that I have written?
Yes, sir.
And should work. Well, if it's not working, that is it's giving you an error.
If I'm writing it, then it's giving an error.
So have you written it the same way that I have written?
I have, and this is coming as error. But if I'm removing the double
Have you
quotation
closed
marks,
have you closed the last bracket as well, which is the filter bracket?
yes, sir.
And you've defined both the arguments. Can you paste your formula in chat? Or
Okay, sir.
yeah, can you just paste your formula in chat? We'll have a look. Can you paste the formula in the chat so that we all can have a look? Others, please try this till then. So you have filter A1, take a consumer, and D5 is to D51294. नहीं, आप directly greater than equal to नहीं लिख सकते.
But it is working.
It's working with, so you're saying it's working without the double quotes?
Yeah. Yes.
So if I write greater than, sorry, my bad. Correct. Who put this chart? Sanya, na? It'll work without the double quotes also. Like you, in a counter sum, if how you directly define the value, you can do it in that fashion as well, right? So without the double quotes, also it would work because then I'm selecting the sales column. I'm selecting only the sales column, which is in D6 to D51295. And then I'm writing my condition that the sales value should be greater than, why would you put a double again and equal to? My bad. You wouldn't put an equal to again when you're already specifying greater than equal to, because it is only a value column. We have to put an equal to where there's a text, because we have to select only one value. We have to select only one value. So please write this without the double quotes. Thanks, Sanya, for the correction. So please put this without the double quotes, wherein your sales column greater than or equal to 500, right? And now you get correct results because now you also get other segments wherever the value is not greater than 500. So wherever the value is greater than 500. So corporate may, you get wherever the value is greater than 500. Earlier, you were only getting consumer. Earlier, you were only getting consumer, right? Small rectification, you can remove the double quotes from the sales argument, not from the segment argument. Segment में आपको double quotes डालना पड़ेगा. Why? Because consumer is a string. It is a text. It is not a number. So whenever you want to define as text within the formula, you have to put it in double quotes. You have to put it in double quotes. Let me know once you guys are done. Let me know once you guys are done. So we've got it done. Thank you, Saksham, for the confirmation. What about the others? Have you completed this example? What about the others? Have you completed this example? Thank you, Tanisha, for the confirmation. Done. So we got 4, 3 of you and Sanya from earlier. Okay. So abhi tak whatever examples we've done, do you have any doubt? After this, we'll use a combination of these to get some answers. But abhi tak whatever we've done from the very beginning, understanding what dynamic array is, what a traditional array is, how traditional formula is different from dynamic array formula, right? Then we looked at specific functions, sort, unique, sort by, filter, right? So far, no doubts, right? All clear? I'm assuming everything is clear.
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Thank you. Come to the sheet called lifetime sales, please. Come to the sheet called lifetime sales. Come to the sheet called lifetime sales. इसमें ना यहाँ पे formulas लगे हुए हैं. Can you please delete all of those? I've sent it to you with the formulas in place. Please delete all the formulas. Right? Please delete all the formulas from I4, L4 and O4. Similarly from R4 and from U4. Please delete all the formulas. Right? Okay. Done, everyone? Have you deleted the formulas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can only trust you. Right? So now, fairly simple. I have a data set here. Right? Same data set जिस पे हम अभी तक काम करते आ रहे हैं. Sales, customer name, segment and subcategory. Right? Please understand the problem statement. Whatever we are trying to achieve. Don't need the shortcut list. I want to ये phone और consumer भी यहाँ क्यों है? F1, D4. Not sure what this is. You can remove this from here. We don't need it. Okay. So what I want to do is, I want in column O, I want a list of my top 15 customers and their sales. I want a list of top 15 customers and their cumulative total sales. Okay. In column O, I want a list of my top 15 customers and their cumulative sales. Okay. What will I do? In column I, first I want to get a unique list of my customers. Okay. Because यहाँ पे data is at a transactional level, which means first have a look and then you can try. Here, data is at a transaction level. So one customer may have made multiple purchases and hence each customer, each transaction will have a separate row. So the first thing that I will do is, let me just delete these extra columns from here. Okay. And we don't require this one as well. Right. So in the unique and SUMIF headings, first in unique, I'll write equal to unique and I'll get a unique list of my customers. Fairly simple. I have a list of 798 customers, right? Then in SUMIF, I will calculate total sales for those customers. You all are familiar with the SUMIF function? Are all of
Yes,
you
sir.
ठीक है. SUMIF में first I select my range, which is my customer name, control backspace. What is the criteria? Criteria is the value in column where your unique value is there, and sum range is going to be the sum of sales, right? But rather than writing F4, I can write F4 hash because unique वाला जो column है, जहाँ पे मैंने unique list of customers दिखा, that's a dynamic array column, right? And when I write F4 hash, I get multiple results in one single formula, right?
So what is the SUMIF formula doing here?
It is calculating total sales for the customer. So for example, if I filter Aaron Bergman, if I create a filter here, you will see that the person Aaron Bergman has made. Do you want to see sorting and filtering from others? Just a minute. So 1 second. So the person, customer Aaron Bergman, has made a total of 89 transactions. Has made a total of 89 transactions. What essentially we're doing here is we're calculating the total. So total of his transactions is $24,644.63. So if you want to get, because data is always going to be recorded at transaction level. For example, अगर आप किसी store में जाते हो, let's say you go to Reliance Fresh or Reliance Smart and you've purchased some groceries, you get a bill, right? Each line item is recorded separately. आपने for example biscuits purchase किया, उसका quantity लिखा होगा, उसका price लिखा होगा, right? Then let's say you purchase shampoo, quantity, price. You purchase some clothing, quantity and price. It is recorded at row by row level. So अगर company has to look at total sales for books, total sales for chocolates or total sales for clothing, they essentially the data is in this format, which is a row by row format. What the company will have to do is accumulate the data into one single cumulative, create a summary, right? Typically, this is what you have before you create a pivot table. और pivot table में भी अगर मैं डालता मुझे यही चीज मिलती, but I am doing it using formulas. I am not creating a pivot table. I could have done this with a pivot table. मैं customer name को rows में डालता, sales को values में डालता, तो मुझे same result मिलता जो आपको यहाँ दिख रहा है. But I want to do it using formulas. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Right? Let me just expand this a little so that the formulas are coming in different lines. We'll wrap this. This, please don't try this right now. First look at the examples and then you can try it. Column, what I've done in column F and G, is it clear to everyone? What I've done in column F and G
Yes,
is,
sir.
okay, show automatically hide. Thank you. Now that we have our unique customers along with the total sales, you want to do a sort by. Okay. So you start by writing sort by. I want to sort my customer array, right? I want to sort this array. So I'll have to select the entire range. Now here I can't select F4 hash because column F and column G are separate. They are not one single column as a result of one formula, right? That's why I have to select it this way. Now here by array. So I want to sort by my array, which is in the cell in the column G. So here I can write G4 hash because G4 is a dynamic array column and the sort order is going to be descending. So basically I'm sorting my list of customers basis highest to lowest. जिसका सबसे highest sale होगा वो ऊपर आएगा, जिसका sales lowest होगा वो नीचे की तरफ आएंगे. Right? So this is what you get as a next step. This is what you get. So here we've written one formula, right? We've written one formula to sort the customer data in a descending order. Sort the customer data in a descending order, right? Let me expand this as well. Clear, everyone? What I've done in column I, how I've done the sort by, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I select the range that I want to sort. Why am I not selecting F4 hash? Because F4 अलग result है formula का और SUMIF अलग formula से result किया हुआ है. ठीक है? But I can select G4 hash because that is the result of one formula and then I do a -1 for descending. ठीक है? Now, as a next step, I want to take, right? What do I want to take? I want to take select the entire data that is sorted in descending order. And I want to take how many rows or columns. I can define that. So if you look, यहाँ पे ऊपर है ना R, there's a column O or some other column. NOP में से किसी एक column में I've written the number 15. If you select that, right? if I choose my range, which is I4 hash now, because the sort by, the two columns in sort by are resulted using one formula. If I write I4 hash comma O1 or wherever that value is defined, NOP में से कोई column में होगा, and I press enter, I get only my top 15 customers. If I change that to 5, I get only my top 5 customers. I only get my top 5 customers. Right? So I did a unique, then a SUMIF, then a sort by, and a take. I did a unique, a SUMIF, a sort by, and a take. I did 4 things. A unique, a SUMIF, a sort by, and a take. Right? A unique, a SUMIF, a sort by, and a take. Please try this, everyone. Please do this example. Do you want me to explain it again? Do you guys want me to explain it again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. सबसे पहले what I'm doing is, my objective is to calculate my top n customers. My objective is to calculate my top n customers. I am going to parameterize that n. It can be 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever. First thing I want to do is, out of my total transaction data, I want to see how many unique customers I have. Right? So I use the unique function. Then I want to calculate the total sales, lifetime sales. Right? Let's say this is data for 4 years. So अगर आपको देखना है किसी customer का lifetime sales है, तो क्या है? You will use SUMIF to calculate the lifetime sales. Once you get the lifetime sales and the unique values, then you will sort this data in a descending order, because you want to look at your top customers, right? You want to look at it in descending order. So again, now here I have 798 rows, but I don't want to look at all the customers. I only want to look at my top n customers that I'm parameterizing by the value that is in there, either NOP में से किसी एक में, आपका यहाँ पे 5, 15 जो भी लिखा है. तो उसके लिए I use a take function. Take does nothing but ऊपर से value, ऊपर के n rows लेता है. If I say take 5 rows, it'll take the 5 rows. If I say take 10 rows, it'll take 10 rows. I am making that n, I am parameterizing it, making it dynamic for the user. So the user can come and change it 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and the values get updated in that fashion. Take में I4 hash क्यों आया है? Because मेरा sort by column जो है, it has resulted in 2 columns. Because I have taken the sort by column and the output has been 2 columns, right? That's why in the take column, where the word take is mentioned, I can write I4 hash and it selects both the columns. Clear? Abhi, don't look at what is there ahead. Combined formula, let up abhi mat dekho. That is a little more complex. I'll explain it to you, right? First, just do these 3 examples. Calculate unique, calculate SUMIF, then sort by, then take. Please try this, everyone. The formulas are on the screen as well, but I would like you all to try. Calculate SUMIF, unique, SUMIF, sort by, and then take. Any doubts? Any doubts, anyone? Or are you guys practicing right now?
Done, sir.
Done? Great. Right? Let's wait for a few others to also confirm. Let's wait for a few others to also confirm. Thank you, Akshit, for the confirmation. Thank you, Saksham. Okay, what about the others? If you're still doing, that's okay. We'll wait for a minute or two and wait for you to complete the example. Thank you, Divyansh. So 5 of you have confirmed. What about the other 5? Are you facing a challenge? Are you still doing it? What about the others? 5 of you have confirmed. What about the other 5? Are you guys still doing it? Have you completed? If you've completed, please put it done in the chat, or you can unmute and just tell me. Okay. If you have any challenge, you can also let me know. Okay. Now, guys, we wrote 4 different formulas to get the result. We wrote 4 different formulas to get the result. If you come to the column where combined formula, total sales for 15 customers is written, right? You can write one single formula to get the exact result as well. You can write one single formula to get the exact result as well, right? So this single formula also referring to the n value from the row cell O1 in my case is resulting in multiple options, is resulting in the same output, right? What I'll do is I'll not spend time explaining this formula to you right now. Rather, we look at something called as let. Okay? So let me show you what let is. So the let function assigns names to calculation results. Okay? This allows storing. So there is something called as variables in programming, जिसमें आप एक वैल्यू को किसी दूसरे एक वेरिएबल नेम में स्टोर करते हो, राइट? किसी वेरिएबल नेम में स्टोर करते हो, राइट? So what the let does basically is you can first define a variable name, you can name the variable, and you can then define what calculation will it do. So for example, if I say let x is the variable name and 1 is the value. So x is equal to what? 1. And the calculation is x plus 1. So the output will be 2. The output will be 2. Right? Similarly, I can define multiple variables. So I can say x is 1 and y is 1. And I want to do x plus y. So the output will be 2. So basically, जो भी हम calculation कर रहे हैं, उसको हम एक variable में store करेंगे, एक name में store करेंगे. How do we do it? Please have a look. ठीक है? तो you don't have to do this right now. You can go back and practice later on because we have to cover some other topics as well. We not spend time rewriting this formula. So everyone on the screen now, please. First, I'm defining a variable, right? जैसे वहां पे x is equal to 1, यहाँ पे मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि B4 to B5 is my data range. B4 to B5 is my data range, right? Because that is the B4 to B5 is what? My name of customer, right? That is my data range. Then I'm saying that A4 to A5, where I have the sales values, it is my value range. ये name आप दे सकते हो, आप कोई भी name दे सकते हो. मैं इसको data और value भी बुला सकता हूँ. It is one and the same thing. I can call this data or value as well. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले हमने एक वेरिएबल डिफाइन किया डेटा जिसमें मेरे कस्टमर का नाम है, फिर मैंने एक वेरिएबल डिफाइन किया वैल्यू जिसमें मेरे सेल्स वैल्यूज हैं. फॉलोइंग थ्रू सो फार एवरीवन? विल टेक दिस स्टेप बाय स्टेप. फॉलोइंग थ्रू सो फार?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Then what is the next step that we do? We create unique values, right? We create unique values. ठीक है? So I am writing a calculation. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, hide floating meeting controls, come back, right? Now I'm writing a calculation. First I'm writing a variable and then I'm writing a calculation. So here I'm writing something called as unique values. Who is annotating? Come on guys, you're not little kids. Okay, so unique values is जिसमें I am calculating a unique, but now since I've already defined the range, सबसे पहले I calculate my unique customers, right? जो हमने individually किया, हम यहाँ पे भी वही करेंगे. So unique values is a variable that you're creating, जिसका calculation क्या है? Unique of data range. Unique of data range will result in what? Will result in what, everyone? If I do a unique of B4 to B51 to 93, what will the output be? Unique list of customers, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what is the next thing that we did? We did a sum if. So we first did a unique, then we did a sum if, then we did a sort by, and then we did a take. That is the exact same thing that we'll do here. So Have you followed through till the third line? Have you followed through till the third line?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? Then I'm defining another variable, sum. Right? I'm calling it sums, if मैं कुछ भी बुला सकता हूँ उसको. इसके naming convention के कुछ rules हैं. So maybe you cannot give it the name of a formula. So there are some naming convention rules. Sum में what am I doing? I'm doing a sum if. Sum if में I have 3 arguments: my range, my criteria, and my sum range. Correct? So what is the range that I want to do the sum if on? On my customer name. Right? What is my criteria? वहां पे unique list of values. तो वो कहां से आ रहा है? यहां से. Wherein I've created a unique list of values and stored them in the variable unique values. और मेरा sum range क्या होगा? मेरा value range, basically my sales column. Basically my sales column. Follow through till here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now, after I did that, I get 2 columns. In my output, I get 2 columns, right? So I'm naming that something called as combined array. Again, name आप variable name आप कुछ भी define कर, आप combined columns बुला सकते हो, आप उसको customer plus sales column बुला सकते हो, whatever you want to name it. जिसमें I'm using the choose function. Choose function allows you to choose the columns from a range of cells. Choose the column from a selection of data. जिसमें I'm saying that there are 2 columns, 1 and 2, because we literally have 2 columns, right? And so index number दे रहा हूं मैं columns को, मैं बोल रहा हूं column 1 is going to be my unique values column, which is my customer column, and the sum if column is my column 2, जो exactly यहाँ पे था. My unique column is my column 1, my sum if column is my column 2, right? My unique column is my column 1, my sum if column is my column 2. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? So the first checkpoint is, आप एक डेटा रेंज डिफाइन कर रहे हो, आप डेटा डिफाइन कर रहे हो, आप बोल रहे हो कि मेरे कस्टमर नेम इस कॉलम में है, उसको मैं एक नेम दे रहा हूँ डेटा रेंज. आप उसको कस्टमर कॉलम भी बुला सकते हो. वेरिएबल नेम कैन बी एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग, राइट? सिमिलरली यू हैव अ सेल्स कॉलम, सेल्स वैल्यूज कॉलम, जिसको आप वैल्यू रेंज बुला रहे हो, एंड देन यू आर डूइंग अ यूनिक, ठीक है? देन द नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज वी डू अ सम इफ. बेसिकली यू यूज अ लेट, बिकॉज आपको बार बार उसी फॉर्मूला में आपको डेटा रेंजेस डिफाइन नहीं करने हैं. Secondly, you want to make the formula more readable, so that if you share this with someone else, it is easier for the other person to understand, right? So combined array में you're saying that there are 2 columns और आप उनको index number define कर रहे हो. So choose, in the choose function, I have index number 1 and 2, which means value 1 क्या है मेरा unique names, unique values, and value 2 is my sums, ठीक है? Now when you do that, then आप उसको sort करते हो, right? तो उसको आप sorted array बुला रहे हो, sorted columns बुला सकते हो. What this is again a variable name. The sorted array is again a variable name, right? In which you're using a sort by function. Now you understand why I had to create a combined array, because here these are 2 individual columns that existed. I had to combine them because in the sort, if you remember here, let me press escape, come back here. These are 2 individual columns, right? You remember मैंने जब sort by में लिखा था, मैंने F4 to G801 लिखा था, मैंने F4 hash नहीं लिखा था, because these are 2 separate columns. अगर आपको उनको एक array में डालना है, because sort by में आप उसको एक array में डालोगे, तो उसके पहले आपको combined array करना पड़ेगा. You will have to bring them together basically, right? You have to bring them together basically. That is why we use choose, ठीक है? Then we have sorted array variable हमने बनाया है, हमने variable name दिया, जिसका calculation क्या है? Sort by में सबसे पहले क्या चूज करते हो आप? एरे. अब आपका एरे कहाँ है? आपका यूनिक लिस्ट ऑफ कस्टमर और आपका सम ऑफ सेल्स, 2 कॉलम है, उनको आपने इसमें स्टोर किया है कंबाइंड एरे में, राइट? देन यू सिंपली डूइंग एन इंडेक्स ऑफ कंबाइंड एरे, (2). Which column do I want to sort by? Can anyone tell me which column do I want to sort my data by? Which column do I want to sort my data by?
The customer name?
Which column do I want to sort my customer names by? What is the values column? Sales, right? I want to sort by data by the sales column in the descending order. That is what we did, right? हम customer name पे ascending to descending sort नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are sorting on the values column. If you look here, what did we sort by here? We sorted by G4. We sorted by G4. What does G4 have? Sales values. What does G4 have? Sales values. And we sorted in a descending order, which is why we used a -1. We sorted in the descending order, which is why we used a -1, right? That is why we used a -1. So again here, we're performing the sort function. Exactly जो हमने वहाँ किया था, we are exactly doing that. We are just giving it a name so that that name can be reused. We are just giving it a name so that it can be reused. But आप directly sort नहीं कर सकते because sort में आपको column index number define करना पड़ता है, right? In the sort function, I have to define the column by which I want to sort. By array, by which array do I want to sort, right? So here again, within the sort by, you'll have to define the array by which you want to sort. So if the array in this case is going to be index of combined array. Now index of combined array क्या कर रहा है? वो उन दोनों columns का position निकाल के देगा आपको. उसमें से आपको second column चाहिए because you want to sort by your second column. And what is the sort order? A -1. What is the sort order? -1. And then last step क्या है? You want to take out of your sorted array, you want to take x n number of values जो आपने O1 में define की हुई है, जो आपने O1 में define की है, right? So if you don't need to practice this right now, just look how you would have built it, right? So सबसे पहले you would have to define your values. तो आप let लिखना शुरू करते, ठीक है? Let's say मैं बोलता हूँ customer names. I can write whatever I want here. So my customer names are in column B. Okay. Control backspace. Let me scroll to the right so that it is visible to everyone. Let me expand the column also. My customer names, I put a comma. Then I want to define my other column, which is my sales column. So I say sales values. I can say sales values. I write an equal to. My sales is in A4 to A51293. I'm just typing because I don't want to scroll towards the end, right? Now, after you've defined your columns, what is the first thing that you will do? After you have defined your columns, what is the first thing that you will do? Anyone? After I have defined the columns, what is the first thing that I will do? I want to see
the unique value.
I want unique values, right? So I can give it a name called unique customers, right? Comma. Then I can write the unique function. And within the unique function, I will specify. Now here, do I need to go and define the data range? Do I need to go and define the data range?
No, sir.
No. What will I write here?
What is that?
Sorry?
So sales value.
नहीं मैं अच्छा एक second. Am I taking out this unique of my sales value column or my customer names column?
Customer names.
So here what will I write? Customer names.
Names.
Right? Like how it is written above. ठीक है?
Okay.
So in the same exact fashion, I will write customer names, right? I can close this bracket. I can put a comma. After you press Alt Enter to break it to the next line. So abhi, let's say if I close the formula here, right? If I were to unique customer names, unique of, I'm missing something. A second. We'll be doing it in the exact same way. So you have your customer names, you have your sales values, and you have your unique customer names. ठीक है? इसके बाद what is the next step that I want to do? SUMIF, right? So I can say, rather than calling it as sums, I can call it total sales. Can I call it that? Yes, I can call it total sales. And इसमें मैं क्या करूंगा? मैं SUMIF करूंगा. Now SUMIF क्या करना है मुझे? I want to SUMIF by what range?
Sales value.
Range क्या होगा इसमें?
Sales value.
वो तो sum range होगा.
Unique customers.
Unique customers will be the criteria again, because if you follow through, come back here. यहाँ पे once I create the unique list, this becomes my criteria range. My sum main range is going to be this, and my sum range is going to be column A. right? So when I write a total sales variable, this will be sum if my customer names, comma, what is my criteria going to be? My unique customers is going to be my criteria, and my sum range is going to be sales values. Very quickly, I don't think it can take uppercase. Let me just change this a second. Comma, यहाँ पे आपको equal to नहीं लिखना है, comma लिखना है, ठीक है? Slight rectification. Let me just make this small changes. ठीक है? तो let me write this again just to show you. तो अभी जब मैंने एक बार ऊपर कस्टमर नेम डिफाइन किया है, यहाँ पे जब मैं लिखता हूँ, I can see the customer name that is the variable, right? ये variable मैंने डिफाइन किया है, ये मैं देख सकता हूँ, ठीक है? Then criteria क्या होगा? Unique customers. Again, you can see, I can see the variable name here. Then again, my last argument was sales values, which is going to be my sum range. I can see that argument here as well. Right? So within the, let me expand this. Within the function, I've calculated my total sales, which is essentially a sum if of my customer name basis my unique customers, which is my criteria, and my sales values. Following through so far, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubts? Why you need to learn this? Or why you need to at least be aware that something like this can be built? Essentially because when you write complex formulas like the one that we just showed, उसको आप parts में break करोगे तो fairly simple है. But that is not optimized for performance. A formula that is optimized for performance is the one जहाँ पे आपका एक single formula से you can generate multiple results, right? And when you write a formula like this, firstly, it becomes reusable. Secondly, it is easier for other people to understand. Rather than having ranges, you have specific names that you have given. Hence, it is easier for people to understand. Right? Now, what is the next thing that I want to do? I have two columns now. What is the next thing that I want to do?
Sort by.
Before I sort, what do I want to do? These are two separate columns, right? So I want to combine them into one single column. Unique customers or total sales. ये दो individual columns है, right? Unique customer. वैसे why is there an error? You have your data range, you have your value range, unique values. मैंने comma नहीं डाले हैं क्या? I put commas. So I put commas after customer name, then unique values, which is unique of my sum range, then sum if. Okay, you'll have to complete it for it to show any results. Okay. In fact, let me do this. Okay. What is the next thing that you want to do? You want to combine both of these columns, right? So you will say customer plus sales, maybe customer plus sales, right? Comma. इसमें you will use the choose function. जिसमें आपको पोजीशन डिफाइन करना है कॉलम्स का, पोजीशन डिफाइन करना है. तो आपके कॉलम्स कौन से हैं यहाँ पे? फर्स्ट इज योर यूनिक कस्टमर्स and the second column is your total sales. Second column is your total sales, right? Then after this, you want to do a sort. Customer sales. You want to do a sort. So you will then press Alt Enter and come to the next line. Maybe I will call it top customers sorted. ठीक है? इसमें आप क्या करोगे? आप sort by वाला फंक्शन यूज करोगे. आप क्या यूज करोगे? Sort by वाला फंक्शन यूज करोगे, जिसमें your array is going to be what? What is the array going to be?
The customer sales.
Customer sales. Perfect. Customer sales, right? Then what is your what column are you going to sort by? क्या आप वो directly define कर सकते हो यहाँ पे? क्या आप वो डायरेक्टली डिफाइन कर सकते हो? नहीं, यू हैव टू यूज एन इंडेक्स फंक्शन, यू हैव टू यूज एन इंडेक्स फंक्शन जिसमें आप आपके एरे का बोलोगे किस कॉलम से आपको स्पेसिफाई करना है. So my column is column number 2, which is my total sales column, by which I want to sort. So I will close my index वाला argument and then I write a -1, right? Then इसके बाद I have one more step which is top n, जिसमें I will take from my customer sorted, and I feel I've made an error somewhere. That is why you're not seeing the variable names. So वो we'll figure out in a second. And when you close, this should ideally work, but there's an error somewhere. But
So total sales में sales value के बाद double वो क्यों है?
correct, ये नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है. Okay, there is still an error. We'll look at it एक second. So सबसे पहले हमने customer name define किए, ठीक है. Then हमने sales value को define किया, ठीक है. फिर हमने हमारे unique customers निकाले, which is unique of customer names. यहाँ तक all clear? ठीक है. So let us do this step by step. Let us copy this part into another. ये गलत है तो गलत है, यहाँ पे कॉपी कर लेते हैं. Will not let me edit anything else as well. In fact, let me copy this entire formula and let us delete the rest and let us only look at a part of it if it works. ठीक है. So when I write equal to let customer names and sales value unique customer names, it still doesn't display a result. Windows B, copy the entire formula. Okay, so one was this, that there should not be two brackets here, right? So customer names is correct, sales value is correct, unique customers is unique of my customer names. ठीक है. Then I have total sales, which is sum if customer name, unique customers and sales values. Then I have customer sales, which is my array, जिसमें मेरे दोनों columns combine हो रहे हैं, in which I'm choosing 1,2 of unique customers and total sales. Then I have my customers in a sorted order where I'm doing a sort by on my customer sales column, right? And my index is going to be customer sales, जिसमें से मैं second column के basis पे sort करना चाहता हूँ. तो मेरा array 1 होगा मेरा second column where I'm doing a -1, and then I'm doing a top n where I'm doing a take where I'm doing customers sorted. हाँ, यहाँ पे we have to define कितने हमें rows लेने हैं, वो भी तो define करना पड़ेगा ना. So I want to take, कहाँ गया वो, 5 rows, right? चलो वो एक चीज था, but it still does not work for some reason. ठीक है. If I close this, then I come back to the let, and here I close the let. Basically, this is how you do it. Abhi, let me just check why there is an error. The range, value range, unique values, sum, combined array, then sorted array. So last argument में आप define नहीं करते हो उसको. Getting a name error because do we have anything else here? If in F2, let us zoom in. Right, so वही है, when you start combining multiple formulas together, it becomes a little complex, and then you also have to figure out कि आपको debug कैसे करना है. तो एक बार फिर से customer names, sales values, unique customers. Let me hide this. Unique customers is going to be your unique customer names. Then you have total sales, which is name 4 that we can see here, जिसमें मैं sum if कर रहा हूँ. Then I have customer sales, जो मेरा array है, इसमें I'm doing choose unique customer names and total sales. Then I'm creating a sorted array, sort by customer sales. ये correct है. Then again customer sales यहाँ पे भी correct है. Correct कैसे मुझे पता है? क्योंकि मुझे नीचे variable name दिख रहा है और customer sorted create नहीं हुआ है. Because यहाँ पे मैंने customer लिखा है, customers नहीं लिखा है. See, spelling error था. In the last option, I did not write customers. I just wrote customers. That's why there was a error. But this is that basically. Okay. So I know it's a little complex, but I want you all to build it now. Please, everyone, go back to your screens. Okay. In fact, if one of you can share your screen now, and we can do it together, right? So that the others can also follow through. Right? Who would like to share the screen to complete this formula? Who would like to share their screen to complete this formula? You decide, or then I pick a name.
So I can do it.
Sure, please share your screen. Okay. I want the others to also do it. So while I'm guiding her, I'll also be speaking. So all of you can also follow through, right? Okay. So we start by writing a let. Okay. तो सबसे पहले आप क्या define करोगे? You will define your customer name. So equal to let bracket open. Go and select your giver name. So you say your customers or customer names. यहाँ पे आप लिखो customer or customer names, comma. Then then go and select the customer names range, which is from A6 to A51 something. In your second column, column B, your customer names are in column B. So B4 till B51 to 93. Control backspace to come back to the formula. Then put a comma or put a comma and then alt enter. Put a comma and then alt enter to come to the next line. Now here you will write your sales. So you can write sales, transaction, whatever. Sales values, comma. That is A4 to, well, you can go and select or you can type it as well, however you're comfortable. A4 to the last row, control shift down. A4 say control shift down. A4 say control shift down. Or you can write just A51293. Right? Then a comma, then alt enter. Then alt enter. Then what is the next thing that we do? We create a unique list of customers, right? So आप लिखो unique, comma, या unique customers, comma, and इसमें आप क्या करोगे? Unique, you will calculate the unique of what? You will write the unique function. You will write the unique function, not equal to. You don't need to write an equal to. Right? Just write the unique function and open the bracket. What will you do unique of? Customer names, correct. Customer names. Close the bracket, comma, and then alt enter. Don't use shortcuts. यहाँ पे ना थोड़ा, even I am not familiar with the shortcuts on Excel Online. Not all of them are available. Alt enter. Alt enter works within the cell. So alt enter will bring you to the next line. Once we have the unique list of customers, what is the next thing that I want to do? I want to calculate total sales for each customer, right? So you can write total sales and put a comma. Write the sum if argument. Write the sum if argument. Open the bracket. What is the first argument in the sum if? Your range. So हमारा range क्या है अभी? Customer names, right? Because I want to calculate basis my customer names. Comma. Criteria क्या होगा आपका? Unique list of customers, correct? So you write unique customers. I hope the others are also doing it. Comma. And your sum range is going to be sales value. Sales value. Close the bracket. Put a comma and come to the next line. Now you have two individual customers. आपको इनको combine करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? So you can call it a combined array or an array, जो भी आपको name देना है. Let's keep it short. Let's call it an array itself. Lowercase. Always, prefer lowercase for naming conventions. It is easier for you to remember also. ठीक है? नहीं, एरे के बाद यू पुट अ कॉमा बिकॉज एरे इज द वेरिएबल नेम, और उसके बाद आप डिफाइन करोगे उसमें क्या आएगा। तो यहाँ पे यू विल राइट चूज, you're basically choosing two columns, right? Choose, open the bracket. Now open curly brackets because the first argument of choose is the position of the columns. So 1, 2, close the curly brackets, then put a comma and choose your column. So what will your first column be? Unique customers, correct. And what will your second column be? Total sales, right? Your second column will be total sales. You can close the bracket. You can put a comma, come back to the next line. Okay. Then you can, after you have done this, then you have to sort it, right? So आप लिखोगे sorted array, maybe you want to write sorted array या sorted data, जो भी आपको लिखना है, whatever name you want to give, comma, because that is a variable. उसके अंदर calculation क्या होगा? Sort by से आप start करोगे, sort by से आप start करोगे, you will open the bracket, ठीक है? And नहीं, आपका सबसे पहले क्या आएगा? पूरा कॉलम आएगा, पूरा एरे आएगा ना, दोनों कॉलम एक साथ आएंगे। तो आपके दोनों कॉलम किस वेरिएबल में? एरे वेरिएबल में। तो यहाँ पे आप एरे लिखोगे फर्स्ट आर्गुमेंट में, यहाँ पे यू विल राइट एन एरे इन द फर्स्ट आर्गुमेंट, देन इन द नेक्स्ट आर्गुमेंट यू हैव टू डिफाइन बाय विच एरे यू वांट टू सॉर्ट। तो अब आप वो डायरेक्टली नहीं कर सकते, आपको इंडेक्स फंक्शन यूज करना पड़ेगा। विद इन द इंडेक्स फंक्शन यू विल चूज योर एरे, ठीक है? इंडेक्स का फर्स्ट आर्गुमेंट इज द रेंज, सो यहाँ पे आप एरे लिखोगे बिकॉज आपका दो कॉलम्स एरे वाले वेरिएबल में है। यू पुट अ कॉमा, then another comma because first is for columns, first is for rows, second is for columns. I want to sort by the second column, so I close my bracket, then I put a comma again and I put a -1. I put a -1, I close the bracket, I put a comma, -1 के बाद comma डालना है आपको, then come to the next line, write take, then you write the take function which is going to be a large calculation directly. Take, open the bracket, इसमें आपको सबसे पहले आपका sorted array लेना होगा जिसमें दोनों कॉलम्स है आपके, comma, then you can either write a number which is 5, 10, 15, or you can refer to the value in that is in O1, I think. If you scroll up, O1, right? And when you press, close your bracket, ये अभी आपने take a, now press enter. Okay, there is a name error. That's fine, we'll figure it out. Go back and click on R3 again. और you can expand the formula bar वहां से, right से भी formula bar, ठीक है? आ जाओ यहाँ पे R3 में आ जाओ, R3 में आ जाओ. So we have customer names, then we have sales value, then we have unique customers, customer names, total sales, customer names, unique customers, comma, sales. आपने ना total sales में sales values लिखा हुआ है, बट आपके वेरिएबल का नाम sales value है लास्ट आर्गुमेंट में, राइट? एक सेकंड होल्ड करना, let us quickly check the others as well. Now press enter. You see, that's why you are only getting the first column, you're not getting the second. So if you change the value in O1, you change the value in O1 to something else, you change it to 5, the value in O1 में उसको आप अगर 5 करोगे तो आपका डेटा इस तरीके से अपडेट हो जाएगा. Press enter and your data will get updated in the same manner. Perfect. What was your name, the girl who just did this? Sorry.
वैष्णवी सर.
Vaishnavi. ठीक है. Were the others also able to do this? Were the others also able to do this? Is there anyone who was not able to do it? I know it was a little complex, but if you think logically, it was not very difficult. If you go step by step, it is not difficult to do it, right? But first you need to understand the logic कि आपको सबसे पहले क्या करना है, फिर second क्या करना है, फिर third क्या करना है. Once you're able to understand the logical flow of order, then it is very easy for you to build such complex formulas as well. Okay, great job, Vaishnavi. What about the others? Were you able to do it? Okay. Is there anyone who has not done it? Would you like to share your screen? We can quickly debug the formula. Okay. And you know, even when I was doing it, एक error आया, which is fine. When you write formulas, errors आएंगे. जैसे मैं customers लिखा था मैंने एक जगह customer लिखा था. That's on me, but then I also have to be smart enough to go and understand where the error I have made, right? Where is the error that I've made? Debugging is also very important. Debugging is also very important. Saksham has done it. Perfect. What about the others? I want a confirmation if you've done it. नहीं समझ आया तो बताओ, मैं फिर से explain करता हूँ. ठीक है? Don't force yourself to say yes. ठीक है, we can spend some more time on. Akshat has done it. Great. Divyansh has done it. What about the others? There are a few others who have not replied. Ishita has done it. ठीक है? But do you see, it's not fairly complex if you understand the logic. अगर मैं आपको scratch से करने बोलता शायद आपको difficult लगता. But since पहले हमने step by step break किया and then फिर हमने उसको combine किया, that is how the let is supposed to be worked. That is how you will work with the let. उसी तरीके से आपको work करना है, right? पहले आप logical flow of order define करोगे, आप individually formula को parts में break करोगे, और थोड़ा ना Excel online में it is little more difficult to work on let. अब मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ क्यों. Let me share my screen. So if you come to a normal Excel, right? 1 second, my file is opening. Okay. So here there is something known as Excel Labs. There is something known as Excel Labs. Okay. This will take a few seconds to load. Now in this, you basically like get a programming like interface, जिसमें you can write your formulas. Advanced formula environment होता है, right? So I don't want this right now. Okay. So basically, you start writing your formula here, right? So you understand it. Online में ये है नहीं, I think, but यहाँ पर है, तो you can use it. Excel Labs है. I think this is an add-in जो आप install कर सकते हो. या ये Microsoft का by default है. I don't know if it's there in the latest versions, but if it's an add-in, you can download this by default. And do you see, it is much more easier to, वहाँ पे Alt Enter press करो, बहुत difficult होता है. यहाँ पे आप easily identify कर पा रहे हो आपके names क्या हैं, brackets कहाँ हैं, right? It becomes much more easier to read and understand as well, right? ठीक है? Has everyone done it? What about the others who have not given confirmation? What about the others who have not given confirmation? Were you able to do it? Okay, if you're not replying, then I'm assuming that you've done it. Great. So now, coming back to the online version, right? And let me minimize the row range. We zoom in. Okay. So this is what it looks combined. This is what we just did, right? But if you have to do it individually without defining the arguments, the variables in let, आप इस तरीके से करना पड़ता आपको, ठीक है? इसमें पहले आप यूनिक निकालते, फिर आप सम करते, फिर आप जो इंडेक्स हमने किया वो करते, choose index of 1 and 2, right, within the sort by. So then this becomes a little more complex, right? So the better idea is to break it into different columns, different parts, iterate the formula step by step, and then go ahead and write it using the let. ठीक है? तो ये हो गया let. Ab I'm sending one more file in chat, एक last topic for the day, which is called lambda, right? Which is called lambda. We'll do a very simple example. We'll not go in depth like we went in. Close window. Sorry, 1 second. Stop sharing. I'm not able to send the file when my screen is shared. Okay. Please upload this file that I've just sent. Please upload this file that I've just sent in a new book. ठीक है? तो डायनामिक एरे वाला जो बुक है वो आपका सेव हो गया आपके एक्सेल के ऑनलाइन वर्जन में. आप उसको डाउनलोड मत करो बिकॉज आपके पास लेटेस्ट वर्जन नहीं होगा तो उसको एक्सेस नहीं कर पाओगे. लेकिन आपके ऑनलाइन वर्जन में वो सेव हो चुका है. आपके ऑनलाइन वर्जन में इट हैज बीन सेव्ड, राइट? सो गो टू फाइल, गो टू ओपन, गो टू फाइल एंड क्रिएट अ न्यू ब्लैंक वर्कबुक. तो एक नया शीट ओपन हो जाएगा. आई हैव नॉट शेयर्ड माय स्क्रीन. 1 सेकंड. Hide floating meeting controls. In your dynamic array sheet, go back to file, go to home, create a blank workbook. तो एक नया बुक ओपन हो जाएगा. वहां पे जाके go to open and upload. वहां पर जाके go to open and upload the lambda sample. upload the lambda sample. Then it'll open another sheet. तो book वाला जो sheet है उसको close कर दो. अगर आपका sheet open नहीं हो रहा है, then in the address bar where the website is, you'll see a pop-up. You'll have to click on that and allow it to open. Please let me know once everyone has opened this. Please let me know once everyone has opened this.
Done, sir.
How
Done?
can I save my dynamic arrays file?
It is
No.
already saved. It's on cloud. You don't need to save it. अगर आप उसको बंद कर दोगे, so for example, if I go back to my Excel home screen, if I go back to my Excel home screen, right? Excel home screen में जहाँ पे आपके सारे फाइल्स आपको दिखेंगे. अगर आपने फर्स्ट टाइम लॉगिन किया तो आपको एक ही फाइल दिखेगा यहाँ पे, ठीक है. तो दिस इज द फाइल दैट आई जस्ट वर्कड ऑन 1 hour ago. वो सेव हो चुका है, राइट. तो बिफोर यू क्लोज ऑल्सो, आई थिंक, आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज अ सेव. इट्स ऑन क्लाउड ना बेसिकली. तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे तो सेव स्टेटस लास्ट 2 minutes ago, तो ऑटोमेटिकली सेव करता है. और आपको उसको फिर से एक्सेस करना है तो आप आपके excel.new पे जाओ. excel.new पे जाके या office.com में जाके excel में आप जाओगे तो वहां पे यू कैन एक्सेस इट अगेन, ठीक है. तो एनी डाउट्स इन डायनामिक एरे सो फार? I know the last exam was a little complex, but that is a very important metric. Top end customers business में track होता है, ठीक है. और Excel में पहले unique निकालने का कोई तरीका नहीं था. So now that we have these functions, you can combine them and you can get a much more stronger output, right? You can have a much more stronger formula. So dynamic arrays, I am closing the file because no questions, correct?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now open the lambda sheet. Have you uploaded the lambda sheet, everyone? Have you uploaded the lambda sheet, everyone?
Yeah.
ठीक है, perfect. Thank you for the confirmation, Saksham, Vaishnavi, and the other Saksham. ठीक है. Okay. Now if I'll zoom in थोड़ा सा, ठीक है, and let's come back. So if I want to calculate variance, as in the difference between the estimated and the actual, I use a very simple formula. Actual divided by estimated minus 1. And I can drag that formula down. ठीक है. Percentage change basically, variance, percentage change. अगर आपका values आ रहा है तो डेटा में जाके या होम में जाके उसको percentage कर देना. But this is a fairly simple formula, correct? But I have to write it every time. Let us say this is something that I have to do every week, wherein there is an actual versus estimated. I have to do this every week. So I'll have to come back and write this formula every single time, right? So how do you create a custom formula? How do you create a custom formula? Just 1 second. I don't think you'll be able to do this on the online version because the online version does not have named ranges. The online version does not have named ranges. Okay. So guys, you will not be able to do this. You will just be able to look. ठीक है. तो online version में आप कर नहीं सकते because online version में lambdas नहीं है because named ranges का concept नहीं है. You guys have done VLOOKUP with named ranges? Have you guys done VLOOKUP with named ranges? Yes or no? Database sheet, header sheet. VLOOKUP वाले क्लास में कवर किया होगा, ठीक है. तो let me just show you मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ. तो formulas में ना there is something called a name manager, जहाँ पे मैं किसी भी एक रेंज को नेम दे सकता हूँ. ये ऑनलाइन में नहीं है, that's why we won't be able to do that here. But just have a look of what a lambda is. You can go back and read more on it later. I'm going to show you a very simple example. We'll be referring to a website for the documentation. ठीक है. तो this is a simple formula जहाँ पे I'm calculating variance. ठीक है. You don't need to practice this example. Just have a look at what I'm doing on the screen and understand and ask any questions that you have. ठीक है. तो in Excel, how to write and how to use, very great documentation. So until recently, before 2021, basically, user-defined functions, basically a custom function, was only done by programmers, right? Now that lambdas have come in, it has become easier for everyone to create custom functions. What is lambda? It is essentially a function to create other functions. You write a function to create other function. तो अभी हम क्या करने वाले हैं? मेरा एक फॉर्मूला है, एक फंक्शन है जिसमें मैं एक फॉर्मूला है जिसमें I'm calculating variance percentage. I will create a function to calculate another function called calculate variance and calculate percentage variance. ठीक है. You no longer need VBA to do complex computations. You can define our own functions using a familiar formula language. ठीक है. So let us come to the first example. Very simple one. lambda में I'm taking the exact same example that is there on the website. Variance analysis आप कैसे करते हो? New value divided by old value minus 1. New value divided by old value minus 1. तो हमने ये लिखा C2 upon B2 minus 1. If let's say there was an error tomorrow, right? तो if error हम कर सकते हैं जहाँ पे I'm saying that if there is an error, I want the value to be 0. If there is an error, I want the value to be 0, right? I can copy the formula down. अभी कोई error है नहीं, that's why you don't see anything. But if there was an error, I want to show it with the value 0, ठीक है? Or the word error for that matter. Whatever, totally up to you. So far clear? Everyone, so far clear? Fairly simple. Percentage difference,
Yes, sir.
उसको if error में wrap किया है. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now, what does the lambda do or what does it help you do? ठीक है. This is what we exactly have right now on our screens, right? Now we'll have to create a lambda function. तो उसके लिए the first thing that we need to do is start by writing equal to lambda. Start by writing equal to lambda. Now a lambda takes in multiple parameters or calculations. Multiple parameters or calculations, right? So यहाँ पे I'll write actual versus estimated. These are just names. These are just names within the formula. These are just names within the formula, right? उसके बाद I can actually put my calculation, which is if error. अब यहाँ पे मैं C2 या B2 नहीं लिखूंगा, मैं लिखूंगा actual upon estimated minus 1, comma error. Right? This is what I will do. This is how I will define my calculation within the function. ठीक है? Within the function. यहाँ पे उन्होंने एक डैश डाला है. आप उसमें if error में कुछ भी डाल सकते हो, जो भी आपको जरूरी लगता है. ठीक है? And when you close this, कुछ नहीं होगा because अभी फॉर्मूला को एस्टिमेटेड और एक्चुअल का वैल्यूज नहीं पता है. अभी फॉर्मूला को एस्टिमेटेड का एक्चुअल और वैल्यूज नहीं पता है. सो इफ यू वांट टू टेस्ट दिस फॉर्मूला, आपको उसको वैल्यूज बताने पड़ेंगे फर्स्ट टाइम. इफ यू वांट टू टेस्ट द फॉर्मूला, यू विल हैव टू टेल द फॉर्मूला values for the very first time. How do you do that? Just this is for testing purposes. We have not created the custom function yet, everyone. So I'll choose my actual value. So my actual is in C1, C2, and my estimated in B2. It is giving me a value error. Why is it giving me a value error? Because I wrote actual, I wrote estimated. If error, actual upon estimated minus 1, which is correct, comma, double quotes my error. Then I close my if error. Then I close my lambda, right? Should not change anything because I'm choosing my actual first. मेरा actual C2 है और मेरा estimated is B2, right? तो this should ideally work. एक सेकेंड देना मेरे को. So old comma new comma if error, new by old minus 1, if error, actual by estimated minus 1. Fairly correct. Naming the
It should
lambda
not
function.
be estimated then actual.
Sorry?
It should not be estimated then actual because it is written old comma new.
So here, are you saying here? Where
Yes,
are you?
sir.
Sorry?
Here only, sir.
So I
And
should
it should
first.
be estimated comma actual.
नहीं, I don't think that makes a difference because मैं यहाँ पे कोई भी वैल्यू डिफाइन कर सकता हूँ. मैं उस वैल्यू को फॉर्मूला में कहाँ फेच कर रहा हूँ उससे डिफर करता है. ठीक है, मैं उसको फॉर्मूला में कहाँ रेफर कर रहा हूँ उससे फर्क पड़ता है. If I just copy the formula that is there, will that make a difference? I don't think so, but let us check quickly.
Maybe the uppercase and lowercase makes the difference.
The uppercase and the lowercase? No, there wasn't equal to. No, the
Estimated
uppercase lower. No,
is
it doesn't make a
capital.
difference because वो it is not referring to the actual column name. ये तो कुछ भी है. आप कुछ भी, जैसे आप let में वेरिएबल डिफाइन करते हो, यहाँ पे भी आप कुछ भी डिफाइन कर सकते हो. जो भी आपको नेम चाहिए, राइट, जो भी आपको नेम चाहिए वो आप डिफाइन कर सकते हो. ठीक है, तो अगर इसका कॉल एक्चुअल एंड एस्टिमेटेड, ठीक है, इफ एरर ठीक है, not an issue, not an issue. What we'll do is we get an error, which is fine. What we'll do is we'll first create under a named range, right? So I'll copy this formula. I'll copy this formula, right? I'll copy the formula. I'll come back to my name manager. I'll create a new formula जिसमें मैं बोलूँगा that my formula, sorry, new, and here I'll press F2 to go into the cell. I'll paste my formula. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली मेरा यहाँ फॉर्मूला क्रिएट हो जाता है. इसको मैं नेम दे देता हूँ variance percentage, and you can add a comment also. Calculates the variance between actual and estimated figures. Actual and estimated figures, right? There's something in the chat. Give me a second. I'll have a look. ठीक है. Naming syntax. अच्छा, I can't put percentage. Percentage change. Variance change. ठीक है. So basically you created a new function. तो अगर आप अब variance underscore change लिखते हो तो यहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ आपका actual और estimated value choose करना है, and it basically gives you the output. But there is an error in that. Sir, I'm facing network issue. That's why I'm disconnecting again and again. ठीक है Pranshu. अच्छा, in the if error I have put, I set it the actual values. I don't want to do that. I want to write actual divided by estimated minus 1 comma 0 and close this. Yes. So when I write equal to variance change, now it tells me to select my actual and my estimated value, and hopefully it should give me my percentage, and it does, right? It gives me my percentage. So equal to, वो पता नहीं, when I was testing it there was some issue. वो the method for testing is very peculiar. वो you cannot, so when you write a lambda function directly आप उसको define नहीं कर सकते. जैसे अगर मैं equal to lambda लिखता हूँ उसका कुछ result नहीं आता है, लेकिन उस formula को जब मैं जाके name manager में name create करता हूँ तो custom function हो गया. When I create the name, that is when it is able to pick it up, right? So anytime now I want to use this, I can share this with someone else, right? I can just pick up this. The other person only has to go to the name manager and copy and paste it, right? Copy and paste it. I can change the formatting to, so basically variance change हमारा कोई formula नहीं है. What we've done is we've created a custom formula called variance range, जिसमें मैं literally मेरे specifics को define कर रहा हूँ, right? So if you quickly go back to the documentation, ठीक है, not sure whether testing was not working. I'll have a look at it later. Okay. Basically, you define your variables, then you define how they're used in the calculation. That's it. This part you can ignore. This is the testing part. You can ignore for now. Right? Maybe they've made some changes, but that is what basically a lambda is. You write the formula, old, new, if error. This is how you write it. This is what we exactly wrote. Rather than old, new, we wrote actual versus estimated. You put it in the formula box in the name manager, and your formula works perfectly fine. Any questions so far? Last topic for the day. Any questions? I'm taking a screenshot of the names as well. अभी तो अभी जो present थे उनका attendance लग जाएगा. Right? Any questions, anyone?
No, sir.
All clear? I know we did a little complex topic today, right? हमने dynamic arrays देखा. What I would want you to do is you have downloaded the files, ठीक है? Lambda, if you have the latest version आप कर सकते हो, वरना you can ignore it. At least you're aware कि lambda जैसी कोई चीज होती है जहाँ पे आप Excel में custom function create कर सकते हो, ठीक है? But the other topics you can do it on Excel online. So go back, have a look कि हमने क्या किया है, ठीक है? Because अभी अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपने solve कर पाए हो, तो that is because the examples were fairly simple. Over time, when you increase your knowledge level and play with more complex examples, it becomes a little challenging. ठीक है? Any questions, anyone? Or else we're good to go for the day.
So can you please send the presentation in PDF so that I can get?
I've put it in the chat. Let me put it one more time. Let me put it one more time. Okay, I'm stopping the meeting recording.